You should already know what this is. And for those of you that aren't, just chill. See, we're gonna get down to the other stuff here in a second. But what I'm always trying to get everybody to understand is everything is vibration. Dejana Sturgis. Good morning. Beats by Let's Zone Out Music. Let's zone out, fam. Yeah. A little wake and bake special. Juicy kiwi. Juicy fruit. How's everybody doing this morning, man? Yeah. Oh, I'm blessed and highly favored. Oh, I'm blessed and highly favored. Yeah, I love that. We're gonna take just a few minutes to let a few people slip in, and then we're gonna get down to it. Patience. Make sure y'all hit the like button as you come in my bedroom door.
90.
Yeah. And in doing so, understand this is not about ego. Nah. This is about algorithm. And if you haven't smiled yet today, now would be the perfect time to do so. Like right now. Find a smile for yourself. Please allow me to be the smile on your face. Because at the end of the day, all I am is the smile on your face. All I am is the motherfucking vibe. Oh yeah. Now we're going to touch on the transits like usual. We're going to elaborate on the aspects. But today we're going to have a teachable moment. When we get done with the transits and the aspects, what we're going to do is talk a little bit about Jupiter and the part of fortune and the differences between them. Okay? We're going to preach positivity today. It is Thursday. And I was born on a Thursday. Yeah. Good morning. What's up, Aunt? Yeah, we in this thing this morning. Yeah. Where's everybody checking in from this morning? Announce yourself. Shout out to my peoples with the royal beats right there. I didn't make this one, but they went pretty hard. It's got that R&B vibe. AV John. Yeah. There's no better way to start your day. Yeah. Ebony coming from Maryland. Yeah. It's 8:22 in Narnia. Do you know what your motherfucking vibe is? It's gonna be a beautiful day. Let's look at the science real quick before I even get into the transits. Let's just consider the fact that we got the moon in Cancer. It's Thursday. Thursday is ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter's exalted in Cancer. It's got to be a good day. You got to find a positive feeling and build on that because the numerology of the day is a 4. So it's about building. So find a positive place to operate from and then build from that. And let your emotions flow freely. It's going to be hard, but it's definitely manageable. You got to coordinate. Yeah. That's that fire. Hold up. Now we ain't going there, we going here. It's about that time. to open up your ear and let me crawl into your mind. I need like 5 more people to hit the like button for me. As soon as I have as many likes as I have people in my chat, that's when I'm gonna get it cracking. Until then, let it marinate. Or as Country Wayne would say, let it sizzle in your spirit. A.V. John, you must not know who you fucking with. Smooth. I'm silky. I had somebody tell me recently that my voice was like butter. I have the moon conjunct my sun, so maybe I'm just feeling myself. That's a vibe in itself right there. That's orchestry. That's just not a beat. That's orchestry. It is Libra season. We do have to make sure that we get the right turn, the right inflection, the right emphasis. You heard me? We 2 minutes from getting it all the way cracking. Yeah. I don't care what the fuck you got going on, man. You gotta release that shit. Sometimes you gotta forgive your motherfucking self. Sometimes the greatest blessing is feeling grateful. It's realizing you're blessed. It's not a gift, it's a realization. Yeah, it's still that gastronaut pack, baby. You gotta let it roll off your palate. Hold on. Yeah. See, I'm a connoisseur. I'm something like an aficionado. Young Neff. We're cracking, cuz. Yeah. I already know you blessed, fam. And you're gifted. You're not just blessed, you're gifted. Remember that, God. Now let's talk about what's going on cosmically real quick. We got the sun sitting at 12 degrees of Libra. So, with that right there, once again, let's ask yourself, how can you harmonize your experience? How can you beautify the expression of your ego without sacrificing your will? Think about that. Now, the sun just so happens to be sitting in a place where eventually later on tonight, the moon will come into a square with it. And so that's where you can see some passive aggressive shit and some people who been trying to hold back how they feel about something, seeing those feelings come to the surface. And that could cause some conflicts, both internally and externally within our relationships a little bit. Speaking of which, the moon is sitting at 1 degree of Cancer right now at this present moment. And the moon is at home in Cancer, of course. So the thing with that is get somewhere you feel comfortable. It doesn't have to be home, but home would be best. And even if you're at work right now, find a place where you're at home with yourself, where your emotions can flow freely. That way you're not stifling things, and that stifling of those emotions and that suppression doesn't cause irritability later on and moodiness. You just got to talk it out with yourself or with other people if you need to. See, when the moon is in Cancer, if you find yourself falling into a mood or, you know, feeling some type of way, the best thing you can do is talk to somebody. I know that sounds crazy. Talk to somebody. A lot of things will get better with the moon in Cancer if you would just communicate. Now, when the moon is in Cancer, it's not just about emotions, even though emotions is the flavor of the day. What it's also about is nostalgia. You could be thinking about the way things were, about who you used to be with, and how they used to make you feel, and how life was when it was all great and shit. And that's cool. Hey, I understand. I'm a Cancer sun. I understand. But the thing is, you can't dwell on it. It's cool to have fond memories. It's cool to feel an emotional connection with the past and with people from the past. But say, man, you got to be careful with scar tissue. Remember that. When you're dealing with Cancer energy, and especially when Cancer and Libra energy are mixing, you better be careful with that scar tissue. Speaking of which, the moon is square to Mercury too. So that right there is a conflict right off the rip between how we feel and what we know is right objectively. See, when our feelings are in control, we take everything personal and we move irrationally. See, Mercury and Libra never want you to do that. It wants you to think objectively. It wants you to do what's best for everybody involved. So, with the moon in Cancer, how you feel and what you know you need to do could come into a conflict. Let's see how it plays out for you. All right. Now, Mercury's also trying to Saturn. I mean, the moon is also trying to Saturn, not, sorry. The moon is square to Mercury and trying to Saturn, pardon me. So this is Cancer and Pisces, right? And so with the moon trying to Saturn, once again, that's a stuck. That Saturn is there, but it's prolonging it. It's a trine, so you can't help how you feel, but there's a certain feeling that a lot of people are going through that you can find yourself, at least over the next few hours or the first half of the day today, or for those in different parts of the country, the second part of your evening or throughout the rest of the night. For those of y'all overseas, this just really is gonna be about like there's gonna be a certain feeling or even a mood that you kind of might get stuck in. But what this does is it allows you the appropriate channel to process it, to work it out. See, Saturn is there, and it's gonna keep whatever you're feeling there for a little bit longer than it usually would be, even with Cancer, because you're gonna go through a whole whirl of emotions with Cancer. But with Saturn here, you might get stuck on something in particular, and in getting stuck on that, it's just giving you the appropriate opportunity to heal it and process that. You feel me? Hold on. Oh, I got it right here. That motherfucking bud. When you get to the end of that shit gets too fucking resiny. So all this means light another one. Now, you could also try to ignore or escape those emotions with Saturn there and it being in Pisces. That's gonna make things a lot worse for you. I'm telling you right off the rip, it's gonna make things a lot worse for you. Now, the chat got disconnected for a second. I don't know what happened with that, but I'll check it out in a little bit. Now, what's up, Earthshaker 9th Avatar? The motherfucking featured member of the tribal council this motherfucking month, my motherfucking partner. What's up with it? What's the science, God? Now, let me keep it going. Let's talk about Venus being at 27 degrees of Leo. Oh, I didn't even get to Mercury right. Mercury, I skipped over Mercury because I was talking about Mercury with the moon. Hold on. Let me do that. Let me put this out for a minute. Anyway, Mercury is at 1 degrees of Libra. Now, Mercury in Libra is interesting because you do think objectively and you are looking for the right influences, the right inflection. You want to make sure you have just the right verbiage. You can be a little too smooth in your speech even. But here's another thing with Mercury and Libra. There can be some absent-mindedness. You can be so worried about how it sounds that you're not paying attention to what you're saying also. Like, motherfuckers just like, hey, I said so that was some fly shit, right? Yeah, but it was some bullshit though. So, you do have to pay attention with that. And it's real easy for you to be looking for the right way to say something and then forget what the whole point was.
It's a Flavor Boy exclusive.
So think about that. And shout out to Flavor Boy, man. He's one of the coldest producers that they got out here, man. Now, there's my shit. I'm fucked up. Fucked up, I can't take the pain. I'm cop top down, leather seats in the rain. It's a shame, but fuck slit my wrist. I'm gon' ride and sip like this. I'm fucked up. I said this word is fucked up. Fucked up. Fucked up like my life been the whole fucking trip. I swing and ride and sip, cause no telling when I'm gon' slip and fall. Y'all done left me when I needed a pickup. They repossessed my pickup. Nigga gonna roll the stick up. I'm lit up and leaning. Bullshit hot and steaming. When I ain't blowed, I'm feeding. And these motherfuckers scheming. It's seeming like relief only lasts long as my buzz. Just post some more tuss. Riding blown with my cuz. My sister grown up but won't own up to the level. Like her brother, she a rebel. Boxing, scrapping with the devil. Pebbles or boulders or bricks of Bombay cheese. But still my assets bleeds. Unless the dank that's in the breeze. Please leave me alone. The wrong blown while I'm sipping. Don't try to stop me while I'm dipping. Cause I got the clip and I'm tripping. I'm slipping into a state of confusion. I'm leaning cause I'm losing hydrocodone from my bruises. I'm fucked up. Oh, this way we living is fucked up. Yeah, it's fucked up. I can't take the pain. Man, I'm caught top down, leather seats in the rain. It's a shame, but fuck slit my wrist. I'm gon' ride in ship like this. It's fucked up. Oh, man, I guess I'm getting fucked up. Like that, bro. It's like I lost my mom on 39th Street to hepatitis C. Susan Turner liked the speed, but Roger T, I like the weed. Rightfully, I moved in with my daddy over mama's dead body. Jesse Lee is a crack fiend in his heart, but happily fed body. Dead bodies and empty stomachs, still I jumped in the game. 7 years later, no paper, I'm still bleeding my pen with fame. Nothing changed, no shame. I'm plagued by my wrong decisions. I'm acting on my feelings, several failures, several missions. I'm listening to the winos, uncles, and friends, father. But when, father, you notice your second son been bothered, it's been harder. But then again, without you, my skin harder like Vince Carter. For 28 years, I was a fucking starter. And my sister, let me quit. Shh, don't tell them I got it like that. Some of y'all already knew. But I can't do that. See, the moon is in Cancer. As soon as I start rapping like that, I start crying. I'm sorry.
Same.
That's why I don't do it. As soon as I did it, I started crying. Now, there goes the fucking Cancer moon, man. Don't do this shit. Don't try not. My heart is not to cry, bro. Yeah. Sorry. The fucking Cancer got me. Anyway. I hate that fucking shit, man. For no reason. I mean, what I was saying was real, but... Sorry. You fucking Cancer, man. Being a Cancer is a motherfucker. I forgot what I was even saying. See, there goes the Libra. The Mercury in Libra. But, let's go ahead and look at Venus now for real. Because Venus is at 27 degrees of Leo. And once again, as we're going through these last few days of Venus in Leo, this is the perfect time to instill confidence in those things to where that criticism and that pickiness that comes with Mercury and Virgo isn't something that's hurtful at this point. Let's build up confidence to where something can be picked apart. That means putting our heart into whatever it is that we're involved with, whether it's creative things, business endeavors, or relationships. You gotta put your heart into that shit. You feel me? Sorry. See the Cancer moon coming. That shit's fucked up. But man, you just gotta put your heart into shit, man. And when you do put your heart into things, you will see how it pays off, you know. Show things your love and you get this, and you get their loyalty. You go show people their love, you get their loyalty. You keep that loyalty up, you keep that love forever. Usually. Unless you fucking with a sorry motherfucker like me. But that's a whole different story. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I I usually do really good. I haven't cried in a while. But it'd be all right. It'd be all right. I'll do it. I'll do it at the drop of a dime. It's been a while. I've been tough and I stay inside of myself a lot of the times. But the little cry came out of nowhere. Damn, moon's conjunct my sun and trying my moon and Pluto and opposite Neptune and all this other shit. So yeah. I'm susceptible. Now, I feel better though. With Mars is at 25 degrees of Libra. Venus is still sextile to Mars. So there is a way that people are going about things that's not so forceful right now. You even might find yourself choosing that mode of operation over your more passionate or forceful way of doing things that even might be your normal mode of operation. Right now, you just be like, you know what, I'm gonna chill on now. I'm gonna do it this way. And it's just finesse is best at this moment. Finesse is best, and they're moving sextile to each other for a while. Eventually, they'll separate. They're starting to separate, but eventually they'll separate even further because Venus just moves a bit more quicker than Mars. So, as Venus stays in its direct motion, it'll eventually separate itself from Mars for a while. But while this sextile is here, there's a perfect time for you to just really perfect your creative endeavors and really, put your heart into your relationships and help those flourish. This is the perfect time for you to just help your life get, like for me, this is trying my North Node as far as Venus. So Venus is exactly trying my North Node and sextile my South Node, which I need that. While Mars is conjunct my South Node. And Pluto is square my nodes. So I have a whole bunch of karmic shit going on. And, for me, I guess it would be really imperative that I pay attention to my business. I've been here. That's why I've been live every day this week. Pay attention to my family, my relationship, all of that. And all of it's just a part of growth. So just think about how this is working for you. Sometimes you can't force certain things. Sometimes you do have to, cooperate or move shrewdly. So yeah, I feel you. Now, Jupiter is retrograde, 14 degrees of Taurus. We've talked about this over and over again. It's not a reversal of values. It's people getting stuck. It's with Jupiter in that retrograde motion, it's not reversing your luck. In some cases, it's too much of a good thing. And in some cases, it's people not moving fast enough. You just see those traits of Taurus that can also be problems, also be brought to the forefront here. It's not that the good things are gone. It's just there's certain other things because it's putting this focal point on these degrees for such a long time. Like for this is square my Venus. I have Jupiter square my Venus. And shit, since I've been really putting my heart into my business, but since Jupiter's went retrograde, like business been slow. I ain't gonna lie to you. And I'm not blaming it on the retrograde, but I have been aware because this is what I do. And that right there could have a person questioning their values. Like, man, I got to do something quick. Question their own value. Hey, I got to have a sale. Hey, I got to do this. Hey, you know what I mean? Like, you start selling yourself short because you need to make the money. You don't feel safe. You don't feel comfortable. You don't feel stable. You don't feel secure. And so what that does is something with yourself. So you start to question your own values, question your own value. Really, first you question your value, which has you question your values. And then that has you doing things you wouldn't normally do. Now you don't want to pay for what things are worth because you worried about your own situation. So you trying to bargain, you trying to barter, you trying to get over. You think about doing some things that you might not have done before. You know what I mean? It's just little stuff like that. Where if you just stay patient, which is what Jupiter and Taurus is still going to be about, if you just stay patient, keep grinding, don't get stuck, but just keep grinding, stay patient, it will work out how it's supposed to. And you have to learn how to be grateful for that. No, I didn't get sick yesterday. I started crying a few minutes ago. And I have bad sinuses anyway. I have allergies anyway. But no, I was crying a few minutes ago. You just tuned in, huh? Yeah, I was crying a few minutes ago. And so when I was crying, it got all that, fucked my sinuses up, gave me a half-ass headache and everything. Just motherfucking tears. You say, there's a tear in my beer and I'm crying for you, dear. Yeah, I really could be a country singer too. Don't get that twisted either. I'm a man of multi-talents. Yeah, but with Saturn and Pisces, we've already talked about this for months and months and months and months too. Hey, you got to fight the feeling. We all got our own stuff going on inside of us. And a lot of times people be more involved with what other people have going on and trying to escape it and being more outside and being more really deal with the things that they have going on inside of themselves. They have a fear of isolation because isolation is scary. Like for me, myself, that's another reason. It's not just because I need to work harder on my craft, but I come live more and more and more because I don't want to sit here inside of my thoughts when I don't have work right then at that moment. And so I need to go to work this way. And even when it comes to sitting and writing, which I used to could sit here and write. I would sit here and I would write about new placements or new videos. I would put a new series together, and when I wasn't recording, I would have productive days or creative days. I would have 2 or 3 days a week that were creative days. I'd have 2 recording days. I'd have 2 reading days, to where I'd do all the readings I need to do in those 2 days, and I had my days set out like that. But now, unless my family's here or unless it's the weekend or so, like I can't, because of my thoughts, like I can't sit here by myself and be creative like I used to. I'll start worrying. I'll start stressing. That's why I was going out every day. And I will again. It's just the weather's hasn't been great. So, and I would rather be here with my lady, but it was just like, and I still have to deal with the feeling. And even I myself know that as I'm telling y'all that. And I haven't, but I'm telling you, you need to. There's a feeling, a lot of people, like whatever it is, fear, doubt, and it could be, for whatever reason it's there, resentment. Like you got to deal with that. You got to deal with that. Like that's robbing you of faith and enjoying life. It really is. Now, hold on. Uranus still at 22 degrees of Taurus. And it's retrograde until January 27th. And that right there is just taking inventory of what you have going on personally and what you have to work with personally. Because anything could happen. And it could happen to you. And it's not going to happen to you the same way it happened to everybody else, because your situation is unique. So you need to find out what are assets and liabilities in your situation and find you a stable place that you can operate from. You might not be able to get comfortable, but you can find a stable place to operate from. But it does take certain personal inventories of both possessions and values in order for you to do so. You feel me? Now, that brings us to Neptune. And Neptune's at 25 degrees of Pisces, sitting retrograde until December 4th. And once again, your perspective is always going to change as new information comes in, and as you're exposed to different things, and as you're entering new environments, and as you are uncovering new realities. But your point of perception should never change. And that should come from a place of inner purpose. That way you're not caught up in the trends, and you're not tricked or caught up in the culture and tricked by these trends. You have a purpose that's separate from all of that. You just have to find that and stick to it. You can pay attention to what's going on, and you can be interested in it and entertained by it, but you don't have to be a part of it. You don't have to be a part of it. That was something I learned when I was in prison. Is there was a lot of stuff going on in there. And like one of my points of maturity, when I was first in there, I was young and I was involved with everybody, but there was a point where I was like, man, I want to go home. And something inside of me was like, okay, we'll go home. And I'm like, I can't just leave. And it's like, nah, bro. You got to change your fucking mentality. You've been in here for years, like you caught up in this shit in here, like, bro, you need to you need to fucking separate yourself from this shit in here. Start operating like somebody who wants to be free and somebody who wants to live a different life. And so, I mean, that's kind of what it was. So all the gang shit and all the little flirtations and shit with the female guards and all the shit I was involved in at that time when I was in prison, it was like, man, you know what? I'm not a part of that shit anymore. And I caught a little flack, like, especially when it comes to gang stuff. They would come like, hey, bro, or cuz, you know what I'm saying? Hey, cuz, what's going on? I'm like, hey, man, like, I want to go home, nigga. I want to go home. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, we can do whatever we got to do for y'all to get the point that I'm not participating. I'm here. You see me. I'm me. But I'm not participating. I'm not a part of that shit no more. And it wasn't that I wasn't who I was. That's the whole point. I am who I am. I stand by that. But I'm not a part of that bullshit no more, man. I'm not a part of this. I'm not a part of this. I'm finna go read my books. I'm finna to fucking get into my zone where I'm going home, man. To where even if I'm not at the house yet, I'm somewhere 1,000,000 miles away from here. And that's what I did. And through that, and through knowledge and reading and getting myself right, and just really, really becoming a temple within myself, I really, really changed who I was. But there's also a certain, when you're in prison, and even just like in the world now, there's certain cultures. There's a certain culture that you can't hit. It's in within a wall too. So sometimes it's like you can't help but get caught up in it. But that's a cruel trick, because you're still yourself. You're still an individual separate from all of that, and you can choose to be an individual that's separate from all of that. Just like in the world, in this culture, and the way people are, and all this stupid shit. Like, people are so fucking trash these days. People are so fucking trash these days. The same stuff that was here to help us is really being used as discriminatory tools or weapons. The tools that we were using are now being used as discriminatory weapons. Let's put it like that. Like, whether it be supposedly us removing labels and letting people be free to be who they are, we use that to persecute other people and to keep them from being able to speak freely. Because now if someone doesn't agree with your lifestyle, you get to tear them down. When they're just as wrong for disagreeing with your lifestyle. Neither one of y'all should be tearing each other down, because neither one of y'all should be concerned about each other, because you should be worried about the soul and living your life to the fullest and enjoying your path. But everybody has an agenda, whether it's some type of religious agenda, spiritual agenda, sexual agenda, whether it's a personal agenda, which there's layers to that. Nobody's just living life anymore. Everybody has an agenda. Everybody is a brand. Everybody is living multiple realities of who their character is. But you can't forget what's central to you and what you're supposed to be doing. You can never forget that. What's central to you and what the fuck you're supposed to be doing. Like, now Pluto's at 27 degrees of Capricorn, retrograde for 5 more days. And hey, Mars is square to Pluto. So, with this right here, like I said, you got to be careful. Mars square Pluto isn't outwardly dangerous. That's the thing about Mars square to Pluto. It's not outwardly dangerous, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, motherfuckers fixing to come blow your spot up. No, it's secretly dangerous. It's the shit that's going on behind the scenes that'll fuck you up for real. And you could even be the person who is operating like that yourself. See, it's not, you have to understand, you can't just be the victim all the time. There's some people here that are those people that are operating like that. You want somebody's spot, and you ain't gonna directly confront them, so instead, you're gonna cross them out. You fucked up and resentful towards somebody, so you're gonna do some little, and it may not even be some little, it could be some big. You're gonna do some shit to make sure you don't lose, but you're gonna smile the whole time. See, some of y'all gonna be like that. Some of us are gonna be like that. Some of us have to be. That might be our job. Like, there is some subterfuge going on. And Mars is also conjunct Ketu, or the South Node. And that points to old shit. People from the past. Unresolved things. Things you tried to smooth over. The stuff you failed to confront. Causing and creating a certain conflict, or at the very least, being something that you need to pay attention to and watch your back about. Yeah, you. Heather Nielsen, what's up? Now, this does bring us to Chiron, which is now at 17 degrees of Aries. And like we've talked about over and over again, Chiron goes through this process in Aries that's really simple. It's awareness, accountability, action, healing. We're in that accountability phase with the retrograde. We have that awareness, then it's accountability, then it's action, healing, awareness, accountability, healing, acting again. And it ain't complicated at all. Not at all. This is Aries. It's strict and straight. No beating around the bush. Now, there's also this thing with Chiron here where I want you to find something about yourself and about healing yourself that incinerates you. But you have to hold yourself accountable to do so. Find something in your life or something in your growth process that, hey man, I want to change that so fucking bad, and let that incinerate you. And put yourself on a fast track to healing. See, Aries can do that. You know when you go to the emergency room and they put you on the fast track? Or when you go to a haunted house or a ride and you got more money than everybody else, so you get to skip the fucking line and then everybody looking at you crazy. I know I be looking at y'all crazy. Like, man, I want to whoop your ass. Like, I be mad at motherfuckers when I see the people coming through and we've been waiting in this line for 3 hours and it's their third trip on the same ride and started to throw my shoes. Started to be a motherfucking Iraqi protest in this bitch. But yeah. That's the jam right there. I love playing that for y'all. I forgot what I was watching when I was making that shit. It was a Western, but I forgot which one it was. But I was working through Westerns and I was got in my imagination and I made this and I was like, you know what? Yeah. When I was drinking, I was on that either that Patron or I was on that fucking I was on some margarita, just some margarita mix by itself. Anyway. Yeah, fast pass be getting on my motherfucking nerve. I ain't never, you got them tourist placements, you probably had it like that. I ain't never had it like that. I got Saturn in the second house. I had to wait in line. I got Capricorn in the fourth house, Saturn in the second house, fam. I had to wait in line. All I did was get to watch, like, this motherfucker going, I'm getting to skip everybody. Think about robbing them. But I mean, I'm a changed man now, but yeah, that's what I would have been like then. Like, I'm thinking about robbing them motherfucker. Yeah. Sorry. What's up, Rich Wealthy? I robbed you too. But that's why we can be thankful for growth. Anyway, let me fix my hat before we get on my nerves. Where I want to go with it now. The Black Moon Lilith still at 0 degrees of Virgo. So you better make sure that you on point. Because I know you ready to pick everybody else apart. It's starting to be like that. You starting to notice all the little shit where people be fucking up and all the shit that gets on your nerves. Like your nerves start to get bad and you start to get irritated really easily. that shit just starts to irk you a little bit. And so you start to notice all the deficiencies in people's character and all the deficiencies in their work ethic and all the deficiencies in your relationship and all, like, man, you ever been involved? It's not even being involved. You ever been in a relationship with somebody, you love them, so you usually don't mention, but after a while you start to notice they breath stink just a little bit. Have you ever dealt with that before? Or have you ever, like, been with somebody and they're usually all right, but every now and then like, you usually cannot say nothing, but there's that one time, like, all right, man, you need to go brush your motherfucking teeth, and that might even make it fucked up between y'all for a couple of days. Like, hey, you need a piece of gum, and it is what it is. I know my lady is a Capricorn with Mercury and Sagittarius, so I didn't have my feelings hurt a lot of times. And I smoke a lot of weed, so I done went over by her and I've been smoking weed, and she be like, hey, man, back up. Like, for real. Do something, but it is what it is, man. All I'm saying is, with the Black Moon, Lilith, and Virgo, make sure you're on point. Because people gonna notice that too. So as you're paying attention, as not even while you're paying attention, as you're noticing everything wrong with everybody else, notice that everybody can see what's fucked up with you too, with your funky ass. Yeah, I know I got a gap and my teeth is fucked up right here. I know somebody that like it, bitch. Yeah. But still, the best thing you can do during this energy is make sure you're on point. We're going to be like this for 9 months. Mercury is going to take a not Mercury, the Black Moon Lilith. I don't know why I said Mercury. The Black Moon Lilith is going to take a 9-month through Virgo. So Virgo placement is going to have some interesting things coming to the mix. You ain't going to be able to play innocent like you usually are. And you have to make sure you won't stay on point. But there's also a thing where people are going to be hypercritical, but also hypersensitive. There's going to be a certain amount of nervousness and overanalyzation going on too. And that shit right there, that can create some friction within self, within relationships, or whatever area of your life this is playing out. Like for me, this is starting out in my 11th house. It'll end up in my 12th house. So, you know, my mental health, crazy as it is. What's crazy also is I'm going to have Saturn opposite this and all this other shit. Like Mercury, the Black Moon Lilith is opposite Saturn right now. Exactly opposite Saturn in Pisces. And so, once again, nervousness, health, mental health are all going to come into play right here. This is where people could really start struggling. And this is where your fears, they could create issues for you, health issues, even irrational fears. So you got to figure out what's real for you. Like, what is real for you? This is my greatest achievement, man. This is the best beat I ever made. Y'all know that. You just can't let the darkness control you. Now you can go on my channel, which is this channel right here, and go listen to this or put it on your playlist or download this to your channel. This is available here because I do have a copyright on this. But if I hear you rapping to this, I'm suing you. I don't even rap to this. I've thought about it, I just can't. Tiger Lily. That's cool. One of my closest associates and one of my favorite clients has a 29-degree Virgo rising. And she's a powerful creature, but she's hell on wheels. For real. It's funny, when y'all have those late degree Virgo rising and you have most of that first house in Libra, it's like y'all are super cordial, so people could get it twisted and think that y'all are like friends, or y'all are, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've even had that problem with people, like people, you're super nice and you're super cordial, so people can get it twisted that y'all are friends. You fuck with them like that, but no, you're just, you just being how a person is supposed to be. You're just treating people how people are supposed to be treated. You really couldn't give a fuck. You just polite. The nodes are at 24 degrees of Libra in Aries. The North Node being in Aries, the South Node being in Libra. So stop worrying about what everybody else thinks about what you got going on. Stop trying to please everybody. And just do you. Your life would be a lot more simple and your relationships would be a lot more honest if you would just do what you're supposed to do for you. And if you were a lot more honest about who you are. Libra definitely is relationship energies, but you know what Libra reminds me of? Libra reminds me of that face and that facade that people first show in the first throes of a relationship. You know, when people first are putting on their best self. And everybody does it. You can say, no, I've been, you're lying. There are certain things that you just naturally are never going to show anybody off the rip. Because you yourself are not comfortable with those parts of yourself. That's the truth of human nature. And so people always show, they put on that where it's like, man, you know what I mean? And then after, sometimes it's quicker than others. But after a certain amount of time, certain character traits start to show that this person has tried to keep in the background. Because they themselves might see them as character flaws or as insecure places in their development. Or because it's something that's a natural response that they usually are able to control, but they were triggered. Yeah. So Aries is like, this is who I am. Take me who it is. I don't give a fuck. See, maybe it's because I'm a Libra rising. I just find Aries energy so refreshing a lot of the time because it's straight up. You don't have to guess with Aries energy. There's no pretense. There's nothing fake about it. Whether you hate it or love it, Aries is the realest energy it is. I didn't say the best. I said the realest. It's the fucking realest. Like, Aries is straight up. And I guess, for me, with my South Node in Libra in the first house, I've always been a nice guy, but I wasn't ever straight up in my previous lifetimes. So in this lifetime, in order for me to have healthy relationships, I have to be a straight up person. I have to be assertive. And sometimes that means being involved with people that bring that out of me. instead of me projecting and then responding to my projections, which is another response that myself and a lot of people do. Especially like Libra rising people. Libra rising people are the type of people who are very polite, but it's like they're waiting for you to get an attitude so they can get an attitude, because they're not really like that. But they have to be polite to everybody. So it's like they'll project an attitude onto you, or even passive aggressively do something to irritate you or piss you off, so that you can catch an attitude, so that they can catch an attitude, so that they can assert themselves. So it's like projecting onto somebody and then responding to your own projection. It's madness. Some of y'all know I've told you about it in your chart. It's not just a Libra rising trait. There's a certain aspect that points to that behavioral trait also. Oh, baby. Yeah, that's the jam too. Now, the numerology of the day is a 4, like I said. A 4. Now you know. This is about building. And I'm going to be honest, it's a serious energy. Today is one of those days where it might not be a whole bunch of fun. And there might be some stuff that comes up that you just got to deal with it. But in dealing with those things, you have solidified your own presence. You have strengthened your own position in life. And you have also made yourself a more solid character. And it helped in your maturity. And some people ain't looking to mature. And that's all right too. But still, I'm about growth. So, what I'm going to do now, you're right, it is a 4, but it's a 5 too partially. You are absolutely right. So y'all are learning. Y'all got it. Y'all got it. I like that shit. Now, what I'm going to do now is take a 1-minute bathroom break. Been drinking a lot of water this morning, but I got to use the restroom, and then I'm going to come back. And when I come back, we're going to get into the teachable moment of the day, which this is just going to be a conversation about the differences between Jupiter and the part of fortune. Okay? Because they both really bring a lot of prosperity in people's lives, but in different ways, and they mean different things. And I want to show you how they both kind of operate, both with sign and maybe in a few houses, and then I'll be able to answer questions about y'all's after that. All right? I thought it would be great to bring some positive stuff and bring some stuff that can really help bring people's most prosperous traits to the forefront today. Seeing that it's Thursday, seeing that we have this 4 energy, so finding you a positive place to build on is something I'm going to help you do. So we're going to look at the part of fortunes, which we all have one, and then we'll also look at Jupiter. And there's so many people that say, "Well, my Jupiter is retrograde, or I don't feel like my Jupiter is blessed." But I'm going to tell you how you are by listening to you. All right. So we're going to preach some positivity today. So when I get back, we're going to have our Thursday morning teachable moment. And we're going to do this every Thursday morning. So I'll be back. One rare bird. Good morning. How's everybody else doing this morning? Y'all ready to talk about it? Think about changing hats. Nah, we good, we good. Now let's talk about, hold up, I got a message. Let's talk about the differences between Jupiter and the part of fortune. So, first of all, for those of y'all who haven't watched my part of fortune series, the part of fortune or the lot of fortune or fortuna is one of the Arabic points in our chart. And it's another one of those calculations. And it's not a point in the elliptical like the nodes or the black moon Lilith. Instead, this is a calculated point that has a formula that differs whether you have a day or night chart. All right. And so the part of fortune is not luck. All right. That's the first thing you need to understand. It's not luck. It is your most talented area as far as something that can help you prosper here on this plane. Okay? Now, Jupiter comes with gifts, but Jupiter does something else. We'll talk about Jupiter in a minute. You can really incorporate the two. Mine happened to be square, which is interesting. But with the part of fortune, this is where you be your best self, right? Now, what's up, Tina Claire Marie? Now, I want you to also understand that when you're talking about the part of fortune, there's nothing negative that comes with your part of fortune. I don't care where it's placed. It's not a negative place. It's only great things that can come from your part of fortune. Now, when there's something aspecting your part of fortune, which I never talk about that much, but when there's something aspecting your part of fortune or a harsh aspect, that might be one of the reasons that you're not seeing the most of it, or one of the things that you have to work through in order to see the most of it. But it's never going to be a problem for you, where Jupiter can be a problem for you. Jupiter is your values. Jupiter is certain gifts that are inherent to you. It can be blessings or luck, but there can also be too much of a good thing. Jupiter blows up everything it comes in contact with, even negative traits. Jupiter takes the energy of that sign and it makes it big in your life, and then it puts it in a place where it plays out in your life. For instance, my Jupiter is in Pisces in my 6th house, 22 degrees of Pisces in my 6th house. Well, that plays out a multitude of ways. First of all, I'm typically a person that doesn't sweat very much. I don't trip about a lot. And that helps me stay buoyant in life. Like I know how to just let shit go. I also am naturally talented in music and in artistic things and acting and all of that stuff where I can just channel something beyond myself. I can easily go beyond myself. At the same time, I can also live in la la land. I can have a hard time being present. And that's not just because of my Pisces moon, it's because of Jupiter. I have a real hard time being present, being on time. It's in my 6th house. I work harder than everybody else once I get there, but it's because I was late. That's how it is. Like, I'm gonna work harder than everybody else, but it's because I was late. It's because I mean, I put myself in that position all the time. And I'm also, with Jupiter in Pisces, I'm just kind of the type of person who I have a certain amount of faith. I do have a certain amount of faith. It's not necessarily like Sagittarian faith, but I do believe. You know, there is something inside of me because there is something that's like a guardian angel that operates for me. That's another thing with Jupiter and Pisces is you believe a lot of the times that the worst is not going to happen to you, so it doesn't happen to you. Like you believe the worst isn't going to happen to you, so it doesn't happen to you. But with it being in the 6th house, you can also have unrealistic expectations. That's the only thing, because Jupiter doesn't do so well in the 6th house. You can have unrealistic expectations. And you can, like I said, be incredibly disciplined when you see the need for it. And I'm talking about uncompromisingly disciplined, even with Pisces. But then you also completely lack boundaries. And you also can have health issues with it being in the 6th house because you did too much. You took it for granted. Like myself. Like I'm usually very healthy. But because I'm never having problems with my health until now, every little feeling makes me think I'm dying. You get what I'm saying? Like, I've never had health issues my whole life. I might have had strep throat 4 or 5 times when I was a kid. I might have had the flu one time. I've had colds, but other than that, I didn't get sick. I went through a time where I was really fat between 6th and 8th grade, or 6th and 9th grade, where I faked some health issues, but there wasn't really nothing wrong with me. I was faking that shit. My mama had just died, or my mama was sick too. I was just fat. I didn't want to run and play. I didn't want to run in football practice. Like, I just acted like there was something wrong with me. Like, that's the truth. That's the truth. That's the truth. There's Jupiter and Pisces in the 6th house too. Like, I acted like it was something wrong with me. I acted like I had asthma like a motherfucker, but I was just fat as hell, and I just didn't want to do it. And I remember I also, I got hit in the football game, and I was okay right after the play, but I fucking was on crutches for 2 weeks. I remember one time I fell on the way to school, and I hurt my arm, and I went and told, man, I think I broke my arm. They had me all there like, man, there is something wrong with this. Well, now my arm is fat, man. And then after that, I remember I played deaf. I played deaf, right? I was trying to act like I couldn't hear, like I needed a hearing aid. And so they took me to the doctor. And when they took me to the doctor, this is true. This is Jupiter and Pisces in the 6th house shit. When they took me to the doctor, I got in there and he said, they tricked me. I think they knew I was faking right off the rip. But they said, okay, what we're gonna do is we want you to write down when you hear, when you write down when you hear a beep, but raise your hand when you don't hear a beep. Well, that's crazy as hell. Why would I know when I'm not hearing a beep? You get what I mean? Like, they're just tricking me. So they get me in there, and I'm just raising my hand every time I hear the beep. Like, I don't hear it. I'm supposed to be saying I hear it, but I don't hear it. Instead, it's like they're like, raise your hand when you don't hear it. And so it's beep. I'm just raising my little dumbass hand in there, just raising my hand. I was in 4th grade, I think. I'm raising my hand, and I keep raising my hand, and eventually the doctor came in. The doctor came in, and he was clapping his hands like this. His name was Dr. Pope. And he was sick of this shit. He was sick of my shit. He came in there, and he said, another Academy Award-winning performance by Rodrigo. He said, if I was your mother, he said, you have wasted my whole afternoon. You have wasted your mother's whole afternoon. He said, Mr. Turner, I don't want to see you back in the... and I'm like, man, what the fuck? But yeah, he caught me up. But that's not the only... I mean, I was just like that. I used to fake asthma attacks. I was just one of them little kids, bro. Like, that's Jupiter and Pisces in the 6th. But let me tell you that, like I said, it blows up the same things. Jupiter is not going to just be your positive attributes, right? Jupiter is your blessings, but it's also your values. It's also the things that are natural to you. And it just takes that energy of that sign and blows it up. And so it takes that part of you, and it really makes you great with that energy. Like, if you have Jupiter in Capricorn, you're really, you're really on point. You're really somebody who's about your business. You want respect. You want status. You want, and you're gonna do whatever it takes, and you're gonna accumulate whatever you need to accumulate in order to achieve those things with that. Because you're ambitious, but because of that, that also would make you somebody who is a shrewd negotiator. You don't play no fucking games, and you are very, 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 very hard to deal with. So it's not just like, you get what I mean? And that could hinder you in those same ways. What's up, Halo's orbit? It can hinder you in those same ways with Jupiter. Where the part of fortune in Capricorn, it ain't gonna hinder you. You about your business. You don't know games. Whatever house that plays out at is where you're gonna be the best. You're ambitious, and you're not gonna settle for anything less but being the best, and the best coming to you in that house. So that's what that is right there. What's up, Halo's orbit? I'm talking about the differences between Jupiter and the part of fortune. We're on positive things, but what you have to understand when the differences is, it's Jupiter, as much as it brings blessings and luck in its way, it also can magnify negative traits of certain signs also. It's just blowing up that energy. That's why depending on what's aspecting Jupiter, you could have overindulgence, and you can have things that are really dangerous. You could have dangerous traits that come along with Jupiter. But let's look at the differences real quick. So, when it comes to the part of fortune in Aries, that means that person is going to profit in some area of life that might revolve around them being assertive, fighting, the military, them taking charge, being a CEO, a leader, some area right there, depending on what house that plays out in, which we'll talk about that in a second. We're not going to just do the mix of each sign in each house, but we'll talk about what the part of fortune is in the first house. But the part of fortune in Aries means that this person knows how to take charge of their life, take charge of a situation. And they also are fearless. And that fearless really works for them. It really works for them. Being impulsive works for them. You feel me? We'll get to all of them. Hold on. Now, Jupiter in Aries is going to make a person incredibly self-contained, incredibly strident. It's going to make them a force, but they can also be too forceful, move too fast, be too selfish. Now, it probably won't fuck them up, but it could also not help them very much. The part of fortune is going to help you. That's where you operate doing your best shit. Now, with Jupiter in the first house, that operates like a confidence and an exuberance and a certain positivity that protects the native. You feel me? And the way that that plays out is going to be in whatever sign that's there. Aries is they're such a force themselves, or they're so assertive or aggressive that ain't nobody gonna fuck with them. They better bring a sack lunch with them. With Taurus, they're the way they're able to stay calm and be patient. It really protects them, and it makes other people comfortable in their presence. And they're just solid. And so on and so forth as the signs go out, which we'll talk about each one of the signs here in a sec. Now, with the part of fortune in the first house, that means you are the bag. That means when you have that going, and I haven't done my part of fortune through the houses series, which that means I still have to do. That means it's a big part of your personality. The way you're coming across. So think about it like that. So Aries in the first house could definitely be a fighter, a runner, an athlete. They could be a military, there's so much, and it's not just that stuff either. There's all types of things Aries can do. The sun is exalted in Aries for a reason. Some of the best comedians, whether you know it or not, are Aries. Martin Lawrence, Eddie Murphy, Aries. And if you think about their character, they come across kind of like that. Martin more than Eddie. But Martin definitely has a certain Aries vibe to him. Now, the part of fortune in the second house, it's not just about values and it playing out you having more money than everybody else or you making more money than everybody else, because that's not, the part of fortune is there to make you prosper regardless. In the second house, that means it's probably going to revolve your voice, your values, you working with finances in some way, you being creative or designing things in some way. So there's that. Part of fortune in Taurus is also really going to be about, first of all, you having a sense of worth. You knowing how much things are worth. That really is a skill that could really be profitable for you. You yourself having some type of cooking or some type of talent that has to do with not only you being creative, but you also making something that is either nourishing, beautiful, or something that you can build from with there. But there's a lot with part, like I've seen people with part of fortune in Taurus be interior designers. I've seen people with part of fortune in Taurus be painters. I've seen people with part of fortune in Taurus be models. I've seen a lot of Taurus models, especially these days where you don't have to have that lithe, that tall, lanky build just to model. So whether it be males or females, there's a whole different realm of that opening up. So you do see a lot of Taurus models. Libra too. Those are Venetian practices. Photographers also. Taurus placements and piano players, because it's about the sense of touch. I can play piano, but my cousin Robert, who's a Taurus, can sit there on his own and just create. Me, I mimic things I've heard before, and so I can, anything I've heard before, I can listen to it, and once I get into that right rhythm, I can redo it. But for him, he can literally sit down and just go to playing and make something with just from his fingers, feeling the keys, and make something sound so fucking beautiful. Be like, bro, what is that? You'd be like, is that fucking Tchaikovsky? And he'd be like, no, I was just playing. And you're like, dang, bro, like how do we need to record that? Like, and he's like, oh, it's just natural. Yeah, the part of fortune is fortune. It's not luck. It's you just, it's utilizing your luck. It's the part of fortune is going to be where you can make the best things happen, the energy that you can utilize to make the best things happen for yourself on this plane. Jupiter is not just that. Jupiter is lessons, blessings, it's values. You get what I'm, there's like so much, Jupiter is so much more than the part of fortune. Jupiter is so much more important than the part of fortune. The part of fortune is awesome, and that's a lot of people want to know that, but Jupiter is so much more important. I would really personally try to incorporate the two. Now, like I said, the part of fortune in Taurus could be all kinds of people that do all kinds of stuff. But having Jupiter in Taurus makes a person a solid person. It helps them be really calm. It gives them a lot of patience. It makes people have, once again, almost like the part of fortune, an incredibly strong sense of how much things are worth. But because of that, just like with Venus in Taurus, they can sometimes have a tendency to judge people by worth, or judge situation by the monetary value that comes along with it. But because of that, they also never sell themselves short. Jupiter in Taurus can instill a quiet confidence in an individual. But Jupiter in Taurus can also make a person a hedonist, make them overindulgent. They can spend too much money. Jupiter in the second house too. Jupiter in the second house is going to make these people really lucky with money. It's like with Jupiter in the second house, it's like they can't make a bad decision with money. It's like even when they do stuff that other people don't do and they make a mistake, they just keep being able to make money, and their money they don't get broke. Even when like they give money away, it's like they make it right back. It's like there's something about money that's just easy for them with Jupiter in the second house. Now, some people are like, it's not easy for me, and you probably have something aspect in your Jupiter in the second house, but you understand the principles of amassment. Now, part of fortune in the second house is going to make these people great investors. It's also going to, with the part of fortune there, it's going to make them really, really thrifty. Jupiter, they can be spending way too much in the second house, but they make it right back. They understand that. That's why they spend. They spend because they're going to make it right back. They've always understood. They've always been willing to pay for whatever things are worth. They never question when people give them a price. They never barter or bargain. They just pay because they're going to get it back, and they never sell themselves short, and they never want to be the type of people who get so short. Now, that brings me to Jupiter in Pisces, speaking of which, in the second house, too. My son has the part of fortune, Jupiter, Chiron, the Black Moon Lilith, all in Pisces in the second house. My middle son does, Jahim, the one who just had his birthday. He's a Libra Sun, Gemini Moon, Capricorn Rising. But he has all of these Pisces placements in the second house, right? And his mom says to me the other day, and as soon as she said it, it just made me think, damn, there's this placement playing out. His mom says to me the other day, she says, Jahim's a hoarder. And I said, what? I think it was yesterday. She was like, yeah, look at all this shit. She started looking, she's like, Jahim is a hoarder. And as soon as she said that, I was like, man, he has all of those Pisces in the second house placements. So him being a child, that's how it plays out. Is the second house, that Pisces is addictions, and like him is it's the second house stuff, his possessions, the stuff. Like he gets addicted to having a whole bunch of stuff, and he just keeps wanting more stuff, and he keeps putting it up, and it's like he can't throw shit away. Like, bro, get rid of that shit. And it's because he has an emotional attachment to everything. He has an emotional attachment to everything. And he's not an outwardly emotional person, so the things that he has emotional attachments to are possessions and things like that, because he tries not to have those type of bonds with people. He has light interactions with people, but he has heartfelt interactions with his possessions. And so there's Jupiter. Perfectly. He has Jupiter in Pisces too, in the second house. Along with Chiron, like I said, he has Jupiter, Chiron, the Black Moon Lilith, all in Pisces in the second house. Maybe Uranus too. Nah, he's 14, so Uranus is in Taurus. Yeah, Uranus too. Uranus too. And I just think that's ironic. No. Jupiter is luck too. Like, no. They're both innate gifts. Even Jupiter is more innate gifts. The part of fortune is where you make those gifts play out for you. This is how you prosper from those gifts, even if they're not aspecting each other. Which the part of fortune is also natural things that you're naturally good at, but that's where you utilize all the other gifts that you have. Everything in your chart. This is where you take all that and you make it pay what it weighs. Like for me, my part of fortune is in Gemini in my 9th house. 20 degrees of Gemini in my 9th house. Right? My Jupiter is at 22 degrees of Pisces in my 6th house. So they are square to each other. But that just means that I've had to go through a bunch of stuff and fight my addictions and all type of stuff with my Jupiter being in Pisces at the 22nd degree before I've been able to come here and be able to talk to y'all about it. See, that directly speaks to what? Gemini in the 9th house. I'm speaking to people all over the world. Using my communication skills and using my experiences through all of my placements to prosper and for me to build a business that not only teaches people with my knowledge, but it also helps me heal in the process because it's conjunct my Chiron. You see how that plays out? That's the part of fortune. But my Jupiter is part of what helps me do that. I had to go through all that stuff with my Jupiter and also my innate gifts, my spiritual gifts, my understanding of people, all that stuff that comes with me having Jupiter and Pisces, my musical gifts that I play here with y'all, my character, my belief system, all of that shit. Yes, Jupiter, you don't have any control over it. Bam! That's it. You just hit on it. You don't have any control over how Jupiter affects you. It's going to bring you luck, but not in the ways that, you know what I mean? Luck and blessings is not what you expect all the time. Jupiter does have a certain Piscean effect to it, just like Sagittarius. It's about the big picture. It's not about what you expect. It's about what's good for you overall. Part of fortune is how you make money. This is how you can make the most money. This is how you can live your best life. Material, not even spiritually, materially. How can you take what Jupiter's giving you and all that shit and make it help you live your best life physically? In your skin. You feel me? Where Jupiter is values and lessons and blessings and luck, but also extravagance. Also extravagance. So like with Jupiter in the 3rd house, and Jupiter don't like the 3rd house. Jupiter is in detriment in the 3rd house. The part of fortune ain't bad anywhere. Remember that. There is no fall for the part of fortune or exaltation for the part of fortune. There's no dignity with the part of fortune. It's not like that. It's not as important like that. But it is something that you can utilize. But Jupiter is going to, with Jupiter in the 3rd house, first of all, it's going to make people very, very clever, very, very intelligent, just like in Gemini, but this is what area of life is playing out. See, the sign is the energy. The house is where it plays out. Now, that house is going to have a little bit of that energy of that sign because of the planetary influence that's there. But never get it twisted. The 3rd house is not Gemini. There are similarities, but Gemini is the energy. The 3rd house is a area of life or an arena of experience or a personality influence or a mental realm. So Jupiter plays out in the 3rd house as a sense of humor, as a good relationship with your brothers and sisters and with your neighbors and shit. You usually get along with all those type of people. As a penchant for learning things quickly, being clever and quick on your toes. That's where Jupiter plays out in the 3rd house. But it also plays out where you might not have a very long attention span. is very easy for you to get bored. So you're going to need stimulation. Now with Jupiter in Gemini, first of all, makes these people value information above all else. Jupiter shows values, remember. And so when they value information, they want to relate whatever's happening back to whatever they know. And if they don't know yet, they're going to start to relate it after this. It gives versatility. But it doesn't give a lot of depth. It doesn't give a lot of patience. It gives facts without the knowledge of what to do with it. So you know a little something about a little something. But you don't really know a lot about much with that. And it makes your energy electric and effervescent. So these are it gets people that are all over the place, but it kind of works for them. But if they get bored, they get mischievous. They get immature. Now, the part of fortune doesn't bring that type of stuff. I have the part of fortune in Gemini. The part of fortune in Gemini just simply gives you cleverness, communication skills, sense of humor, gab. All of that. Rhyme skills, maybe a little bit even. You understand? It gives you a way with words. And you have versatility and stuff, but really more than anything else, it gives you quick mental faculties, a way with words, and a certain cleverness. Part of fortune playing out in the third house would mean you could be a teacher. There's an area of life that you employ it at. You can be a teacher. Or you could drive, do something driving. You could be some type of salesman or saleswoman. You could, I wouldn't say a motivational speaker is more like 10th house stuff. I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can see with your part of fortune playing out in your third house. Something that involves you talking to people. Just something that involves you dealing with people like that, with that right there. Something that involves you being around the neighborhood or working around your siblings or your cousins. Something dealing with like school-age children up to high school and down. You can work at the fucking skating rink. Like, there's a lot with that. Anything that has to do with relaying information, anything that has to do with quick movements and central or local movements, anything that has to do with teaching, speaking, or using the mind. All right? Now, when it comes to the fourth house, this is where it gets interesting, because some people wonder, like, how can you prosper or profit from the fourth house? Well, there's a lot of ways. I have Mars in the fourth house. It doesn't just mean that you work from home, but it could mean you work from home. But you could do something with real estate with the part of fortune in the fourth house. You could work at a funeral home or a cemetery, ironically as it sounds, because the fourth house does speak to the final resting place. You could be working with other people's homes. You can be working with your immediate family. You can be some type of family counselor in some way, working with people's family and dealing with deep down issues, karmic issues that people have, or like some type of social worker. Could be in the 4th house. Now, with a part of fortune Cancer, that directly means working with something that has to do with feelings. You can do anything. You can prosper anything that you're using your feelings with. That could be anything. Anything artistic. That could be anything you cooking for people. That could be anything. You could be an amazing caregiver, cook, artist, musician. You could be a fighter with the part of fortune in Cancer. Look at Canelo Alvarez. And it's interesting that I bring that up again because if y'all didn't watch my video on the prediction between what was going down between Charlo and Canelo Alvarez, hey, you should have watched it if you haven't, because I was dead on. Just like I was with Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. No matter what my heart wanted, I wasn't wrong. Even to the fact that if anybody watched that fight or anybody that knows what happened, Charlo came to get a check. He's a Taurus sun in the 10th house. Canelo is a Cancer sun in the 10th house. Charlo came to get a check. He came to get paid and play it safe. He played it safe. He moved around. He didn't get hurt. He didn't get touched, really. He got a check. He didn't try to win, really. He just got the biggest payday of his life, and he went out like that. He's fine with that. He goes back and gets to do what he was doing. It ain't nothing but a mark on his record, and he's already had a loss before, so it doesn't kill him. Canelo fights for his family, his country, his feelings. He's a Cancer sun in the 10th house. And so he had a lot more to fight for. He came in and wasn't going to go down like that. It's different. So it was just different. It was a cardinal cause. Not a fixed function. Now, the part of fortune in Cancer could have you working with anthropology or something that has to do with the past. I mean, there's a lot. Now, Jupiter in Cancer is exalted. Having Jupiter in Cancer means you have traditional values. Having Jupiter in Cancer means that you respect the old school, so the old school respects you. You believe in family, so family believes in you. It means you got a support system behind you. It's not just the cosmic blessings you have. You have a support system behind you. And a support system that knows that you're going to do whatever you can to help them also. So it's like a beautiful reciprocation. And Jupiter in Cancer, it wants what's best. Not just what it wants what's best. That's why Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. Because in blessing the native with what the native wants, the native just wants everybody to be okay. So that blesses everybody. That's Jupiter in Cancer. The native just wants everybody to be okay. And Jupiter wants to grant that blessing. Well, that's that Venus in Pisces. And I'm sure there's other stuff going on with your Jupiter, and I'm sure there's going to be many people that say that, but that's what Jupiter in Cancer means, is you have a support. And it doesn't have to be your immediate family, your blood family. And even if your family's not supporting you, your values is, and it may not be playing out yet for you. It's the truth of it. Jupiter is exalted in Cancer, and I said at the beginning of this video that there's going to be some people who are going to come through. And see, Venus in the 10th house is the same way. Lessons from love. Like I have Venus in the 10th house. I don't have Jupiter in Cancer. I have Jupiter in Pisces. But I have Venus in the 10th house. And people believe in me. And people want to see me succeed. Because I'm in some way with Venus in the 10th house. And we'll talk about this when we do our top 5 Venus house placements here soon. Having Venus in the 10th house means you're in some ways like a symbol for other people. Like, they live vicariously through you in some way, or they want to see you win because it makes them believe that they can do it. If you can do it, if you can change, if you can win, like they can do it. And so people believe in you. It's not just your family. People believe in you. Period. So it doesn't have to be your immediate family. Maybe people see that your immediate family doesn't believe in you. There could be a thing with that. And then so other people believe in you. But you're truly capable of unconditional love. Your Venus is in the 10th house. Your Jupiter is in the 2nd house. So your values, your family values, the system that you're building up is going to bless you. And you're going to get money. You're going to get money from that. And in the 10th house, you're also going to have status and respect and love. Because people see that you're just there to help everybody. That's Venus exalted in Pisces, but in the 10th house. So you also have some type of talent that really is divine that people want to see shine. Now, also understand, like I was saying, Jupiter is not always, even in an exaltation thing, Jupiter is not always a good thing. Jupiter is going to bless you, but it's not always in the way that you want to be blessed. It's not going to bless you in the ways that you want to be blessed all the time. But yeah, most definitely. Now, when it comes to Jupiter in the 4th house, that means you come from good people. That means you come, and your life is going to keep growing as you go along, or keep getting better as you go along, because you believe it is. That's basically what Jupiter in the 4th house is like. Hey man, your life is going to get better because you believe your life is going to keep getting better. And that belief is very powerful for you. And anybody that you feel close to is protected. And same thing goes for you. There's a lot of people that feel close to you, whether you know it or not, that are willing to protect you if you have Jupiter in the 4th house. But it also just tells me you come from a good background, and your life is going to keep getting better just because you expect it to. Now, Jupiter in Cancer, it's exalted there, like I said, because you have traditional values, and you have a support system that you're building up, or that you've built up, that's going to really help you get through, and that's because they believe that you want what's best for them. And you've shown that you do want what's best for everybody. So you usually see the best of every situation. People will never sell you short. And you feel good about yourself. With Jupiter in the 2nd house, that's self-esteem. I forgot to say that earlier. Jupiter in the 2nd house is self-esteem. It's somebody that believes in themselves, so they never sell themselves short. Jupiter in Taurus is solid values. Solid values can help build self-esteem, but those are not all inclusive with each other. Now, that brings us to the part of fortune being in the 5th house. The part of fortune in the 5th house is about creativity. And that can play out in a whole bunch of different ways. It's about creativity. And your creativity can play out big time in a lot of different areas of your life. It's not just even you directly. Your children could also end up being what makes you money. We don't know his time of birth, so we would never be able to know, but I would almost bet Joe Jackson, the Jackson's father, has part of fortune in the 5th house. Because it's not only his creativity, but it's his creations that prospered for him. The Jackson 5, ironically. Oh, I love numerology, but let's talk about it. The part of fortune in the 5th house also plays out in this person being able to set trends. It's about what's unique to them and their charisma and their creativity. Part of fortune in Leo has to do with their confidence and their character and their personality. Like, man, you have all this character and personality, and you got this confidence to you. Like, man, like that's undefeatable. It's unfuckwittable. It's unfuckwittable. Now, yeah, your confidence is like, man, and you have character, and you have personality, and you got that special sauce with the part of fortune in Leo. Now, with that playing out in the 5th house, it's like whatever sign you have your part of fortune in is going to play out in a creative way. It gives you a creative bent. It makes you a trendsetter. Whatever that energy is, whether it be Leo or Cancer or Pisces or Gemini or whatever it is, it's like, man, that shit right there is why you have the secret sauce. This part of fortune in Leo is the secret sauce. You get what I'm saying? The 5th house is where it plays out in that. Now, if you have part of fortune in Capricorn in the 5th house, you get what I'm saying? Like, you have a really awesome talent for creating business opportunities or businesses. Part of fortune in Pisces in the 5th house, you know, that's musical talent and shit like that, and divine gifts. Part of fortune in Taurus, you know, is gifts in that way also. Maybe singing talent, maybe some type of creative talent, some type of something that you're building, something that you're making. Just look how that plays out for you. All right? See, there's how you see you make that part of fortune work for you. Part of fortune in Aries in the 5th house could be a sports person, could be a gambler, could be the reason that you can always prosper is because you're always willing to take risks. You get what I'm saying? Or a fight, all that stuff. Could be a porn star. Now with Jupiter in the 5th house, that's also going to play out in your creativity. But it also just makes you really, 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 really playful. Having Jupiter in the 5th house can almost make you childish. And kids are going to be attracted to that part of you because they can sense that inner child in you. But it can also point to a certain immaturity in situations where things get dramatic when they don't have to be. That could be Jupiter in the 5th house too. Jupiter playing out in the 5th house is going to make these people just really fun to be around. It's going to make their life fun. It's going to make them have interactions with people that are incredibly charged, but also fun. Like, it's just, I mean, their life is going to be like that sometimes, but there's also going to be something where they can do too much and where it's like, man, like, when are you going to take life seriously? Or you're not going to prosper much, but you're just having fun. It can be almost like a waste. Now, with Jupiter in Leo, That is also supreme confidence. My son has Jupiter in Leo. And he's an Aquarius. His brother is a Leo son with the Jupiter in Aquarius, which is funny. He's a great team player and he's cool, calm, collected. But my son that's an Aquarius, Pisces rising, Virgo moon, but with his Jupiter in Leo, he has this thing to it. You dig? Like, it's in his fit that, like, he has this thing to it. To where he, like, when he puts his self-confidence on and he puts himself in that mode, like, hey, this dude thinks he's somebody. Like, this dude is somebody. And his confidence instills confidence in everybody around him. When he was on his football team before me and his coach got into it, and when he's in his great mode, and he walks out there and he does his thing, like, they believe in him, and he believes it, like, they're slack. You know what I mean? Like, he has that bravado to him. Now, he also can be really selfish and only want what he wants. And think what he wants is best for everybody else too. Like, he don't give a damn. He could be the type of person that he might not remember anything that he learned that whole week. But he remembers that you said you were going to buy him something 3 weeks ago. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's how it is. Like, he doesn't give a damn about what anybody taught or anything else going on. He knows what he wants. He remembers what he wants. It's like, he can be incredibly selfish. And that's also Jupiter in Leo. He can be incredibly self-centered sometimes. He has no idea what's going on with anybody else because he is so caught up in what's going on with him. Now, that can be prosperous for a person. That can make a person very strong. I want you to understand that. Having Jupiter in Leo can make a person very strong. Their character is very fucking strong. They really fucking have something inside of themselves that they really are proud of. And there's people that are proud of them with Jupiter and Leo. Like, it's funny that my son, he has his moon in Magha Nakshatra, which is Leo, but it's also like the favor of the ancestors. That's what Magha Nakshatra is. It's like that people got your back. The ancestors got your fucking back. You're the king. You're in this bloodline, you're the one. And that's kind of like he's my baby son, but that's kind of how he's bigger than all of his brothers. He's bigger than his brothers. He's going to be, right now you can tell he's going to be bigger than his brothers. And his brother Leo is in charge. He's the leader, and Jahim is his own thing in his way, but Saya has a certain strength of character to him that he doesn't always show, but that Jupiter is there. It's like something in him that he doesn't care about what anybody else has going on. He's very stubborn. He knows what he wants, and he's going to get what he wants. He's going to get what he wants. He believes that it's his to have. He doesn't get second guess. He believes that it's his to have. There's that value of Jupiter and Leo. But that can also make him get really dejected when it doesn't work out in his favor. It can crush him. He is going to be humbled more than once in his life with Jupiter and Leo. You have to. I have Mercury and Venus in Leo. I know that. You get humbled with those Leo placements. And with Jupiter and Leo, he has such big, even as an Aquarius, he has such big Leo energy in his way that he gets, like, when he doesn't get his way and something doesn't go the way he wanted it to, it really fucks with him. And when his confidence is shook, it really is shook. And so there is also Jupiter. So the blessings come from the lesson with Jupiter. He has to learn how to have true confidence that comes from inside of himself, not in what other people put in him. And in having that, he always has a gift of protection. Once he realizes his true confidence, he always has a way that he can access something in himself that is stronger than the situation. You feel me? Now, let's go to the 6th house, because this is where it gets interesting. Because with Jupiter in the 6th house, I have Jupiter in the 6th house. So first of all, looking at Jupiter in the 6th house, this means this is going to bless you with health stuff. But with Jupiter and Pisces in the 6th house, for me, it also gives me loose habits that can be a hindrance to my health. No boundaries, not knowing when to stop. Now, Jupiter in the 6th house usually is going to provide protection when it comes to health issues. See, it usually keeps this person healthy for the most part, and if they do get something, it's from them doing too much or them taking it too far, but it's usually something that they can work out. Now, Jupiter in the 6th house can also give a person false expectations. Like they can expect things to work out favorably than they were, or they can be thinking that things are going to work out worse than they always think things are going to work out worse. And that's kind of where I am. And it helps me because they usually turn out better and I always feel good. But a lot of times I think things are going to turn out a lot worse than they're usually going to turn out. I always think that the worst is about to happen with my Jupiter in the 6th house. And that doesn't mean I'm walking around. It's just like, man, I accept that off the rip. So it keeps me from being in a bad place. I appreciate the love, Danny Bethea Brahma. It keeps me from being in a bad place. It's like my own protection is to accept the worst right off the rip, and then I can function from that because I already accepted the worst. I already think that's gonna happen. So anything that's not the worst is a fucking improvement. Once you accept the worst, it's like, oh, anything that doesn't happen that was the worst is a blessing. So that allows you to feel blessed in every situation. So with this being in the 6th house, it also makes people overindulgent with Jupiter in the 6th house. You're gonna eat too much, smoke too much. You're gonna have habits that are just, it takes your habits and it blows them up. Habits can become addictions. Addictions can easily become compulsions. And once an addiction becomes compulsive, it's then something that is a detriment to your life. Just like when a health issue becomes chronic, that's an issue. And so that's the thing with Jupiter in the 6th house, is it's real easy for you have a very addictive personality, especially if it's like in Pisces like myself. But other than that, even in any sign, you have an addictive personality. Like it's real easy for you to pick up anything and for it to become habit. But it can also play out in a positive way. A workout routine, a health practice, it can easily become habit. That's why when I had these health issues, when I started having those digestive issues, as I stopped drinking alcohol. I haven't drank alcohol in almost 6 months. I stopped eating a lot of the ways I was eating. I haven't drank soda in 4 months. I drink nothing but water, which I didn't drink enough water before. I eat a lot healthier. I eat certain times a day. I don't drink alcohol. I don't take caffeine pills. I don't drink caffeine drinks. I don't do any of that shit that I was doing before. And I actually feel it's been months. It took months for me to get here, but I feel healthier than I ever have. I have abdominal pain from the digestive issues every now and then. But other than that, I'm in the best shape of my life really right now. And I feel healthier than ever. But like with Jupiter here, it's really easy for anything to become habit. Now with Jupiter in the 6th house, you can also be uncompromisingly disciplined when you see the need for it. And you can also fuck yourself up by doing too much or going too hard. You got to learn how to quit. You got to learn how to quit. Now, with the part of fortune. No, let me go. We're still on Jupiter, pardon me. With Jupiter in Virgo, that makes people really intelligent. It makes people have a penchant for the details. It makes people be willing to deal with the details that nobody else wants to deal with and do the work that nobody else wants to do. So they're always useful. And they know how to plug along in this cautious and repetitious manner, and they know how to make money because they know how to do the same stuff over and over and over and over again with Jupiter in Virgo. They know how to do the same stuff over and over and over again and over again and over again and over again, and it's going to work for them because it's worked before, and it's going to keep working. It's kind of like with Jupiter in Cancer. When Jupiter was exalted in Cancer, Jupiter in Cancer knows how to use the things that have worked in the past. They can bless themselves in that way because it's going to work again, and for them. With Jupiter in Virgo, they know how to find a method that works for them, a methodology for operation, and they're going to keep doing it over and over and over again, over and over and over again until it keeps paying off and 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 paying off. They're very real with themselves and they're very practical. Now, that might limit them in certain situations where they actually could do a lot much more. They could have gotten so much more beyond their wildest dreams. But they kept it simple. They kept it within what they know. They kept it rational. And so they were sufficiently productive. They got what they were going to get and what they always get, and they're going to keep getting it. Which that can accumulate. That can accumulate. And I believe you, Danny Bethea Brahma. I have Jupiter in Pisces in the 6th house, and I've fought several addictions. I'm still addicted to cannabis. I can say I'm not, and they can say, oh, weed is not. I am very addicted to weed. Have been for most of my life. But I have fought off methamphetamine addiction. I have fought off K2 addiction. Or spice. I have fought off opioid addiction. Like, as far as pills. Like, I've also can blame that on my Jupiter in the 6th house and my Pisces moon, but I can also it can even be more on the Pisces moon, but I can also say that my Jupiter in the 6th house, even in Pisces, has allowed me to beat those addictions. Because like I said, I can be uncompromisingly disciplined when I need to, especially when my health is in question. Like, as soon as I start to feel like I'm fucking myself up, I'm done, you know. I ain't gonna be able to do it. Or if I feel like I'm hurting my family and someone tells me, or somebody tells me I look like I've been doing drugs. That has a lot to do with it too. If I ever start to feel like I look like I do drugs, I quit. But anyway, with Jupiter in Virgo, like they're very intelligent. They have a penchant for details. They'll do the work that nobody else wants to do. They'll take care of the details that nobody even notices. They know how to plug along in this cautious and repetitious manner. They know how to take what's worked before and make it keep working for them. They know how to keep it real with themselves, but all of that shit can also limit them. It can also limit them. They can sell themselves short. The 8th house can be addictions. The 6th house is habits, routines, health. The 12th house can be addictions. The 8th house can be addictions. The 4th house can have addictions. Like that's not essential. It's not central like that, fam. Now, with the part of fortune in Virgo, that means these persons are smarter than everybody else. They can teach. They're highly intelligent. They process information extremely well. They work very hard. They're very organized. They're perfectionists that are highly skilled at something. Wherever house this plays out, that means they're going to be highly skilled in that area of life. Highly skilled at something that involves that area of life. Maybe the best, because nobody does it better than them, because they know how to do it how everybody likes it. It's like this. My sister, right? She's a Virgo moon. And she has her part of fortune in Virgo too, though. But let me tell y'all. Here's what's crazy. Is she cleans. She likes to clean. And she cleans houses. And my stepmom, she has several daughters herself. And she'd be like, and she has a lady that's supposed to come over and clean. She's like, man, that lady ain't coming over here. I'm like, who's coming over here? She's like, Jessica is, your sister's coming over here. I'm like, why is Jessica coming over here to clean? And she said, because Jessica does it how I like it. And she's like, she's always done it how I like it since she was 10 years old. And she's like, I would rather pay Jessica to come clean up after me and your dad than pay anybody else, because Jessica's going to do it how I like it. Every time. And it's just not just cleanliness, it's perfection. It's about doing it how people like, doing it exactly right, consistently, and being productive. So the part of fortune in Virgo is not only about intelligence, organization, it's also about perfecting a skill set. And that could also be somebody that could play out in all types of ways, whether people being doctors. You know, it takes a long time to perfect the skills of doctors and surgeons and people like such. All types of other altruistic things. Part of fortune in Virgo also makes people healers. Similar to Pisces. It gives them a natural gift at knowing what's wrong. Now, that playing out in the 6th house could mean you could just, from working a regular job to you working in healthcare somewhere, to you working in the service industry somehow, to you working as a fitness trainer, as you somebody who organizes routines for people, as you being the type of person who manages things for people or sets schedules for people. Like all of that. Teaching also, once again. Dietitians. Veterinary work. Anything that has to do with domesticated animals. All of that. That's the area of life. Jazzy, you said your part of fortune and your Lilith are both in Leo in the 8th. Any correlation? I'm sure there is. You know, going through stuff in your life that instills confidence in you helps you bring out your best self. And so you kind of realize that you have a way that you can take those feelings that you have deep inside yourself and the stuff that you've been through and those parts of yourself that you're not comfortable with and play it into your music. Hey, y'all, don't get it twisted. Before I go any further, Jazzy Madura is a badass motherfucking producer in her own right. I need to play that Heliconica, or however you say that you sent me. I need to play it here on the channel, but for real. It's about taking those feelings that are deep inside of you and that stuff that you've been through, but you got to go through some stuff, and then honing it and making it the most creative and confident part of yourself, taking your insecurities and making them confident. That's the correlation with that. I need a few people to hit the like button because I'm the best. Now, back to what I was saying. With the part of fortune in the 7th house now, some would say, oh, you have a penchant for getting in relationships. But no. Having your part of fortune play out in your 7th house could mean that you can build a partnership with somebody. You and whoever you're involved with. Some type of mobile partnership. Part of fortune in the 7th house could mean that you work in some type of matchmaking or relationship field, depending on what the sign is. We haven't got to the sign yet. All right, I started with the house. All right, part of fortune in the 7th house could mean you ain't got to do much. I appreciate the love on CashApp, Jazzy. It could mean that you ain't got to do much. You just got it like that. So you attract people who help help you like that in your life. I ain't gonna lie to you. Part of fortune in the 7th house could also mean that you bring out those type of traits in other people, and that could help you prosper. That's another thing. Remember, the 7th house is kind of like that that mirror, that reflecting point. Now, the part of fortune in Libra, that's something else. That's modeling. That's anything that brings harmony to experience. That's acting. That's counseling. That's anything that allows you to offer your objective perspective. You can be a lawyer. That the part of fortune in the 7th house is the area of life that it plays out. So all of those same things can play out. But here's where it gets different when we're talking about Libra. Here's where it brings the things that are central to this person's character. See, this person right here has a way with people. This person with the part of fortune in Libra naturally understands people. The person with the part of fortune in Libra is the type of person who they really know how to stroke other people's ego. They know how to make other people feel good in their presence. And so it gives them a unique skill for doing business. It makes them awesome salesmen or saleswomen. The part of fortune in Libra also gives them a certain amount of taste. And the understanding of human nature. Oh man, that's what really pays off with the part of fortune in Libra. Because an understanding of human nature can play out a lot of different ways. You see, even if you're a salesperson, even if you're an artist, you understanding human nature helps you make better art. It also makes you better at selling the things that you're trying to sell because you understand how the market can fluctuate and what people want. And you can take your own perspective out of the mix with part of fortune in Libra. You can see it from everybody else's point of view. You can put yourself in other people's perspective, and that allows you to prosper in a multitude of ways. Because you know how to close a deal. You know how to make things done. Understand, there's more billionaires that are Libras than anything else. So this is the part of fortune here. This is the most prosperous point in the chart coming out in Libra. So this is probably going to be one of the most profitable positions that there are. See, the part of fortune in Libra, shit. Not only do you make your own money, but you also know how to help other people prosper, which also keeps people, what's the word I'm looking for? My mind went completely blank. It keeps people wanting to help you. So I'm trying to think of the word I want to help. The word I want to, promoting. I was thinking of all the PR words, and I got all lost in me trying to say the right thing, like I said Libra would do earlier. And you get that it's about the promotion. Sagittarius is really good at that too. That's why Sagittarius and Libra, oh, that sextile between them is really, really awesome and industrious in its own way. That's one of the best sextiles for business, because that takes it worldwide, baby. We take those personal and we build personal relationships worldwide, baby. But just look at this. So when you put Jupiter in Libra, oh, this is one of the best placements, as I told y'all. In my opinion, even though Jupiter is exalted in Cancer, Jupiter in Libra is probably, it's the best. See, what Jupiter in Libra does is it takes this person and it gives them a very objective perspective. And so because of that, they can do a multitude of different things. They can teach, they can act, they can build, they can do art, they can advise people. Man, there's thousands of fields. They can do math. They there's just so much with Jupiter and Libra, because they can pull themselves up out of the mix and see what's going on in front of them from such an awesome objective perspective. Now, also understand, with the part of fortune in Libra, they can seem like they're non-committal. They can seem non-committal. But with Jupiter in Libra, it's going to come across as people who are looking to make the right decision. And that right there plays off luckily. But it also makes them seem more judgmental. Now, having Jupiter in Libra also makes you be able to see the whole, or know how, like you can see something small, like a little piece of something, but you can know how it would look in its whole form. Or you could see a scope really well. Because of your perspective, people with Jupiter in Libra can see scope really well. But they can also, in their own way, be the type of person who as judgmental as they can be, people don't know where they stand. They judge. They make determinations outside of self, but it's never on one side consistently or the other side consistently. They don't choose sides, so there doesn't feel like there is a lot of what's the word I'm looking for with this? Like a lot of personal like they don't have a lot of weight behind where they stand personally, is what I'm trying to say. So the thing is, with Jupiter playing out in the 7th house, is these people expect to learn a lot from their relationships, and they expect to have good relationships with people because they themselves are going to make sure that they're a good relator. And whatever sign that Jupiter plays out in will show how they do that. Now, having Jupiter in the 7th house, once again, that would help these people be the type of people who might be really fortunate for the things that they've learned through their personal interactions with other people. See how different it is where you talk about the sign in the house, especially with Jupiter there? Now, when it comes to Jupiter being in the 8th house, that makes people incredibly resourceful. Incredibly resourceful. And they can operate in the darkness on their own. Whereas Jupiter in Scorpio is going to give people a certain taste and a certain amount of value in the side of life that other people would soon ignore or be deathly afraid of. And so sex and death and life's ultimate principles are really important to people with Jupiter in Scorpio. And people with Jupiter in Scorpio, they prefer the intense. They prefer things to be intense. They operate better in a crisis than any other time. But sometimes because of that, like, they can create chaos. It seems like chaos follows them. See how it goes both ways? They're the best in a chaotic situation, but it seems like they're always around chaotic situations. Now, having Jupiter in the 8th house also makes a person be the type of person who doesn't die. They transform. Even their toughest lessons are blessings with Jupiter in the 8th house. And they go through some tough lessons. They find out some things about themselves while they're dealing in the dark, but they come out more powerful. They come out better. They come out blessed. They always say, hey man, I went through some shit, but I'm blessed. I went through that shit, but I'm blessed. Now, with Jupiter in Scorpio creates the shit. They are the shit. They are that intense power. They are that extreme. That's the problem. They operate at extreme. So anything that's in the middle, sometimes it's hard for them to do anything. So they can create extremes, because that's where they're at their best. But they're also incredibly powerful. Incredibly powerful. I'm just like, man, what to do with it? Now, the part of fortune in Scorpio, that can mean a lot of stuff. Oh, by the way, let me go back to Jupiter in the 8th house. Jupiter in the 8th house also usually points to inheritance at some point too. Inheritance, or them, besides them being resourceful, them getting some type of money at some point in their life from outside resources that, you know, could mean all kinds of stuff. All right. Oh, by the way, Jupiter in Scorpio also makes them really good at scientific disciplines like chemistry and biology and all that shit. Like, it really makes people really good at that type of stuff. Alchemy. Now, Jupiter in the 8th house, it makes them really interested in sex too. They're really Jupiter and Scorpio is gonna. I already said that. Like, there's sex and death and life's ultimate principles are really important to them. But Jupiter playing out in the 8th house also makes these people just like, they have this thing where they get knowledge, like sex magic, from intense experiences. They get power. It's not just from crisis, but every intense exchange they have brings them out more empowered and something else. It brings something else out in them. Jupiter in Scorpio is the intensity. Now, part of fortune in Scorpio can mean a lot of different stuff. It can mean that you're willing to get your hands dirty, per se. Part of fortune in Scorpio can mean that you're willing to deal and do things that nobody else is willing to do. Part of fortune in Scorpio can mean that you yourself have this laser focus that creates an indomitable will and an unquenchable desire. So you will have what you want by any means necessary. That's what the part of fortune in Scorpio really means, is you're going to have what you want. You're going to have it, whatever it is, by any means necessary. And by any means necessary, I mean any means necessary. Now, with the part of fortune in the 8th house, that could mean that you get some type of settlement. You get some type of insurance money. It could mean that you work in some type of death trade, or you work in some type of sexual industry. Part of fortune in the 8th house could mean that you could be stealing from people. You could be scamming people. Part of fortune in the 8th house could mean, yeah, all of that shit. Part of fortune in the 8th house could mean that you be protecting people from those same things. You could be investigating. All of that. All right? Now, with the part of fortune, yes, TF, the houses are calculated based off the degree of your rising sign. You're absolutely correct. Now, with the part of fortune in the 9th house, like my part of fortune is in the 9th house. First of all, you could look at that as dealing with publishing. It could look at it dealing with foreign affairs. It could have to do with spiritual practices, like I myself do, with imparting wisdom, with teaching, with mysticism, preaching, religion. That's where it plays out for you. For me, obviously, it plays out as me imparting my knowledge to y'all and teaching in a way, preaching in a way. My grandfather was a preacher also, and sharing. Sorry, I heard something. Now, oh, it's the dogs. I thought I heard somebody knocking on my door. It's my dog's tail on my door going doo 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 doo. He's waiting outside the door, and my puppy is. Oh, my baby. Mysticism could be a lot of stuff. The 9th, the 8th, all of that. The 12th. The 8th, 9th, 12th. I already did 8th house Jupiter. We've already went there, but yes. Now, the 8th is good for, entrepreneurs in its way. In its way. Now, the part of fortune in Sagittarius gives this person not just luck, but it gives this person positivity. But they could also work with that. They could be military people. They're going off their belief. Whatever they believe is what they're gonna really prosper off, taking those beliefs and doing something with it. Even if it's belief in self. I've seen a lot of Sagittarius people be doing sports. It could be something outside. It could be. The picture is so broad. With Sagittarius, you got to think about that. The part of fortune could mean anything. Now, looking at Jupiter in Sagittarius, these are big picture people. Positive people. But the thing is, they can go too hard, take it too far. be too exuberant, overindulgence, good time Charlies, all that shit. That's the problem with Jupiter in Sagittarius. That's the only problem. Jupiter's at home in Sagittarius. Jupiter loves Sagittarius. But these people have this way of being willing to experience things, being open to experience, seeking truth and freedom in a way that it allows things to happen to them that couldn't happen to anybody else. So it's not that they see the best of every situation, they see everything of everything. They experience it all, so they always get the blessing. And they ain't fucked up about experiencing the rest because it's about the big picture. It's about the big picture. No, Neptune is not like Jupiter. Neptune is not Jupiter at all. But yeah, Jupiter and Sagittarius, like, it makes these people very intuitive and wise. So they understand things. They understand things. And if they don't understand it, they're going to experience it, so they do. Not just read about it, not just learn about it. Gemini does that. They're going to experience it. They're going to know it. That's Sagittarius. Jupiter and Sagittarius knows. It knows. The luck comes from knowing. Now, Jupiter in the 9th house is going to make these people willing to go as far as they need to go to seek the truth. It's also going to make them incredibly wise in their own way. See, the luck plays out there. The values are, and the energy is the sign. Where it plays out is in the 9th house. These people are going to be able to be blessed and having great affairs with people from all over. They're going to be traveling a lot, both in their mind and on the face of the earth, with Jupiter in the 9th house. And it could be for different reasons. That's why you look at the sign. It could be a Capricorn. They could be learning a lot, but it's because they're working and they're building businesses. With Cancer, family, you know what I mean? There's all types of stuff. Libra, legal, business, you know what I'm saying? Pisces, music, spiritual, all types of stuff. Virgo, teaching, work, health, service. You feel me? Taurus, financial stuff, business, this. Like, you see all that stuff, how it plays out in the 9th house. But the 9th house is where, you know, people are really traveling. And so with Jupiter in the 9th house, like, these people are blessed to be able to experience stuff that nobody else experienced, and to go places nobody else gets to go. And even if it's not really far on the face of the earth, they go through this spiritual stuff in their mind that really takes them to a place that nobody else is willing to go to or experience, because they're seeking knowledge and truth. And sometimes that goes beyond the bounds of normal human experience or expectation. Now, that right there brings us to Jupiter. Do we already do part of fortune in Sagittarius? Yeah, we already do that. Jupiter in the 10th house. Now, Jupiter doesn't do so well in Capricorn in the 10th house because it's so achievement oriented. It's so results based. And Jupiter isn't really like that. As much as people are looking to Jupiter for that, Jupiter isn't always going to, because that puts expectations on Jupiter. Jupiter doesn't want expectations. Doesn't want to be controlled. That's what Capricorn tries to do. So, with Jupiter in the 10th house, it makes these people very ambitious, and they're going to succeed because they want to succeed. It's what's important to them. It's what's important to them. And people are going to help them succeed because they see them trying and they see them wanting to. So they're going to get help from people further up the hill, and then people are going to help. And once they get there, they're going to be like, okay, because this is what they were made for. It's that simple with Jupiter playing out in the 10th house. It's really speaking of success. Why? Because those people want to succeed more than everybody else. They believe they can. Now with Jupiter in Capricorn, it gives administrative and legislative skills. It gives discipline. Jupiter in Capricorn also gives people who value status. And they're going to achieve the status they want to achieve. And that means they're going to accumulate whatever they need to accumulate to get to that status, whether it be money, certificates of achievement, or whatever it is. If it takes money to get respect, then I'm going to get money. If it takes me going to school and me giving them certificates, then I'm going to do that. If it takes me being your motherfucking boss, I'm going to do that. But also understand that they don't get to enjoy life very much when they're like that, or enjoy other people sometimes because of the way that they are. They're insatiably seeking success. And they'll never satisfy it because once they get to one level, they realize they still got a boss. They get to another level, they still got somebody they got to answer to. And then by the time they get to wherever they're trying to go, they're fucking exhausted. And all they have is their status and no life. Jupiter's exalted in Cancer because it gets all of this because people help each other and there's love. It's not so competitive and it's not so harsh and strict. Now, the part of fortune in Capricorn, that once again, almost like Jupiter, gives administrative and legislative skills. But it also gives discipline. And way more than Jupiter can make these people have issues, the part of fortune helps them have discipline and control over themselves in ways that helps them out. And part of fortune in Capricorn really helps people be extremely focused on their goals. They're goal-oriented. Now, having the part of fortune in the 10th house means you're going to get paid from your career directly. That's what I mean. That's basically as simple as it is. Jupiter is exalted in Cancer. The part of fortune isn't. Jupiter is exalted in Cancer, bro. Now, I'm almost done. Cut it out. Like I said, the part of fortune being in the 10th house just means you're going to prosper from your career or from your status. You might even get famous. The part of fortune in the 10th house could be fame. Jupiter in the 10th house could also mean fame, but it also just means ambition. It gives you ambition. You're going to succeed because you want to succeed. Part of fortune in the 10th house speaks to fame, status, not necessarily wealth, which would be more like 11th or 2nd house, but also your public reputation being something that pays off for you. What's up, Inner Riches? Now, having the part of fortune in the 11th house means you make a lot of money, first of all. And here's the funny thing. In order to make a lot of money, what's one of the most important things we should know as humans? It's not about how hard you work or what you do. It's about who you know. A lot of times, you have great skills. You do just the same level of work that a lot of other people do. You just aren't in touch with the right people that pay you what other people could be getting paid. Right? So having the part of fortune in the 11th house helps you get in touch with the right people. You're in touch with the right people and the right mindset. Well, you can make a lot of money. It doesn't mean you're going to have a lot of money because that's more the second house. But you're in touch with the right people. So you are in the right atmosphere for you to prosper. Now, having the part of fortune in Aquarius means you are, first of all, very open-minded. You think differently. You're very inventive. And all of that shit works for you. The part of fortune in the 11th house and Aquarius both help with humanitarian values, but it also helps with associations. The 11th house more than Aquarius, but they both bring that thing. Not having friends in low places, having friends in high places that have commas behind their name. See, also, having the part of fortune in Aquarius is going to make this type of person who they're able to do something that nobody else can do. Whatever it is. It's not because they can do it perfectly like Virgo, but it's because they have something that is unique about them that nobody else can do. So you have to figure out how that works for you. And you can see the part of fortune in Aquarius playing out in astrology also. Anything with this new age practices, anything scientific, anything that has to do with quantum physics, anything that, like, you can see that playing out within it because their mind is so open to all different types of stuff, and they're so highly intelligent, and it's a beautiful thing with them. Now, having Jupiter in Aquarius is similar, but Jupiter in Aquarius also kind of makes these people good people in a way. Part of fortune in Aquarius doesn't necessarily have to do that. Jupiter in Aquarius is about values. So they care about everybody. They might not be personal with everybody, but Jupiter in Aquarius is going to make these people care about what's good for everybody. And they don't really care about money. They care about truth and freedom. But sometimes they need to get money for truth and freedom. And having Jupiter in Aquarius also, as far as what I've seen, it's made these people know a lot of different types of people, and a lot of different types of people know them, and that a lot of different types of people think they're a good person, so they're going to help them, and vice versa. Now, Jupiter in the 11th house means you make once again you make a lot of money, and you could be a community activist, or you could have a lot of good friendships. You have a lot of good interactions with as far as associations with people. You have positive associations. Now, the bad that comes with Jupiter in Aquarius is they can be really stubborn. They don't want anything that's old, or they don't want to do anything the way that everybody else does things, so they're kind of always going against the grain just to do it, which can make things more complicated. And they can theorize more than they can actually practice. And that could be a thing. They can have all these wild theories, but they have to figure out what they're going to put into practice. Their mind is so abstract, but they need to put some actions behind those ideals. Now, with Jupiter in the 11th house, they make, no matter what their job is, they usually make some of the best money for their job. They make a lot of money. They make a lot of money. They have a lot of money coming in as gains. And they also have a lot of friends. And later in life, it stops being about having a lot of friends. It's about having being involved with the right people that y'all can help each other and y'all can help other people. That's what that develops in. It's values and teaching and learning. But you got to learn some lessons in to get there. The part of fortune in the 11th house, that gives you capital connections. That guarantees it. But that doesn't have to mean that they're positive in their associations, because it could be Scorpio in the 11th house or Capricorn. Y'all could just be about business. Y'all could be straight up mobbing on other people. You could have some backroom deals going on with Scorpio in the 11th house, and y'all could really be really be doing some scamming or doing some sneaky shit, but y'all are prospering. See, the part of fortune doesn't have to do that. The part of fortune is showing you how you make money, how you prosper. Jupiter shows you how you learn, how you grow, how you evolve, how you prosper. Part of fortune is how you profit. You see it? There's profiting and there's prospering. Part of fortune is how you profit. Jupiter is how you prosper in life. And sometimes you got to go through some bad stuff and deal with some inherently negative stuff also, or overindulgence, in order for you to really prosper and grow and evolve. Where the part of fortune just is simply about, this is how we can make the most out of this situation. We're going to get you paid. Now, lastly, when it comes to the 12th house and having your Jupiter in the 12th house, first of all, that's like a guardian angel. Plain and simple. It's like a fucking guardian angel. It's like, sometimes you don't feel like you have luck until you really needed it. It always comes through at the very last minute, but it's there. It saved your life a lot of times. A lot of times you can think, I'm not very lucky, but then when you think about your life, you realize, damn, I do have a guardian angel. I could have been fucked up a lot of times. Like, it could have been so much worse so many times, but it's like right at the last very minute, it always got better. That's Jupiter in the 12th house. It operates as if a guardian angel. It's not a protective mechanism as much as Jupiter in the first house, as your confidence is or that energy is, but having it in the 12th house operates like this guardian angel for you that always comes through at the last minute, and it always blesses you even when you didn't think you were blessed, or not even in the way you wanted to be blessed, but you just got blessed. Like, God damn, like, I don't even know how that happened to me. Now, having Jupiter in Pisces, like I have Jupiter in Pisces, it gives you talents, spiritual gifts. It gives you a certain sense of understanding things, a certain need to not understand certain things. It gives you a sense of imagination. It gives you a love for music. It gives, you know what I mean? It gives you a certain faith. Like I said, my faith is weird. It's Pisces faith. It's not optimism like Sagittarius. It's like, I expect the worst a lot of the times, but the worst never happens. So I'm always positive. I'm always able to stay positive because what I expected never happens. You get what I'm saying? It's crazy, but it's a certain sense of faith that, hey, you know what? I still, you know what I mean? I still have a way that I know how to see things and operate, and it works for me. Now, having the part of fortune in Pisces is going to mean you need to be using your divine talents and skills that you've been given, whether it's acting, singing, dancing, painting, fucking, whatever, preaching, whatever it is. That right there, you have some divine talent with the part of fortune in Pisces that people never see. You need to be using that to prosper. And with it playing out in the 12th house, I say having your part of fortune in the 12th house, that means the money that you make probably, and what's crazy is your part of fortune is in the 12th. It's not going to be good for you. They're like, your part of fortune is there, but it means that you prospering might very well be your own undoing. But who am I but a professional? So that's all of the part of fortune in Jupiter. Now, I didn't run down what it really means about each one. Y'all can go look at my whole videos. I was just showing you the differences between the part of fortune and Jupiter here today. It was a quick route. We ain't went nowhere into what Jupiter does in each one of those signs and house placements. Like nowhere. And I have a video on all of that. You just got to go watch it. On all of it. So I implore you to check it out. Now, before I ask any questions, I need to get my breakfast real fast. I haven't eaten anything yet. I need to eat something, even while I'm eating in front of you. I don't like to eat in front of you, but I'm going to. Hold on. Does anybody have any questions before we go? We got 15 minutes and then I'm out. I've been here over 3 hours already. And I gotta go mind the business that pays me. It's been a good one though. He said, what's part of fortune in the 12th house with Virgo? Something that has to do with healing, probably. I was playing about it and not helping you, but something that has to do with healing, working in institutions, something that has to do with stuff like this, imparting knowledge on people, helping them grow spiritually, helping them find faith again, all of that stuff. I got you, hold on. You said, when I see multiple signs under one house in the chart, does that mean that those signs are all under play in that house? Yes, but there's only one sign ruling it. The sign on the cusp of the house is the sign that's ruling that house. So, yeah. But those signs are both at play there, yes. Especially if you have placements there. Heather, you said you missed a lot. You said, so for part of fortune for Leo, go back to the 5th house part. Yeah, I was talking about all of it. I talked about Leo in the 5th house at the same time. Yep. You got it. You said, what type of divine talents for part of fortune in Pisces? You would have to hone those. There's all types. I mean, think about that. You have to channel the part. You have to find the part of yourself that is connected to something that's beyond just self and something that's bigger than your own life. Ah, that was some good water right there. Like I said, my Jupiter is in Pisces in my 6th house. My part of fortune is in Gemini in my 9th house. And I'm utilizing them both here. See, I don't even want to eat a banana in front of me. You had to tear it into pieces. There's something that makes me really uncomfortable about eating a banana. I usually eat them whole. But I would have been looking real weak. My nigga. Caleb Woods. Hey, I'm gonna call you later on this afternoon. It ain't gonna be right now, bro. It's gonna be later. I gotta eat after when we get done, but we'll talk before the end of the day. That's a guarantee. And we'll set up the talk before the week is over or something. The Cowboys don't play till Sunday night, so we might talk on Sunday if you ain't too busy or something. As far as doing a little something, trying to figure out how to go live together. Yeah, you can't even eat these days. You don't know who the fuck is gonna film you either. Even at home, I'm on this right here. Next thing you know, y'all have fucking YouTube shorts and of me eating a banana. Like, look at this. Hell no, you can't eat hot dogs, popsicles, nothing these days as a man. Not outside. You gotta take a fork to that bitch. Feet pics, that'll work too. You got pretty feet? I'm telling you now. See, as a Pisces moon, I'm just not comfortable with ugly feet. I don't even have to, I can't, and I'm very particular. When I say ugly, I can think your feet are real ugly, real evil. You might think you have cute feet, but I probably think they ugly. Like, I'm very particular, but I am attracted to feet, but it's not like I have a foot fetish. Like, it's not just this. That is one of the things that I find sexiest if they have pretty feet. You get what I'm saying? If I think a lady has pretty feet, that's gonna make her all the more sexy. But she could be fine as hell. But if I think them feet are fuck, I would not be attracted to. Like, that can ruin the whole motherfucking thing. If this motherfucker is killing the game, but there is hammer time down south, down there, I'm not fucking with it. I'm not fucking with it. Nope. Can I specify even deeper about the part of fortune in Pisces in the 11th house and ways to get money? Yeah. I mean, hold up. I just heard something buzzing over here. Anyway. I mean, there's a lot. When I think about that, there's music stuff. Like I said, music stuff. You could be dealing in art. The 11th house makes a lot of money in a lot of ways. You know, it's about knowing the right people. Being in a band, you managing a band, you producing people, you I mean, there's so much acting. You being an agent for people in some way, you being an advocate for people in that realm. Bro, like there's so much. Like, Pisces is so broad. Like, it's about finding out what your divine purpose is and then connecting with people with the 11th house, connecting with people who are a like-minded approach, and then y'all together collectively helping all of y'all prosper. You get what I'm saying? You say, do you have to turn into Picasso? You could, but it's not even that. It's about connecting with other people. You can deal in their artwork, or you could be dealing with spiritual people like myself. You could be, you could have a whole, yourself could start a whole entertainment network for spiritual people or podcasters, or you could have your own thing where you're taking your spiritual gifts like I am here, and you having a little community of people that you're building up, and y'all together are doing y'all's thing. Like that's what I would see with that. Let me see if I still got it. Oh, I still got it. Oh, I still got it. Yeah, I just do it. Sorry. You're gonna get me in trouble. She's in the other room. I don't know why people ask for feet pic. But I will say this because I have asked for feet, but it's just like it's because I need to know right off the rip. I'm a real dude, so I'm just gonna say right off the rip, hey man, what the feet look? Send me a picture of your feet. It's not because I want your feet turn me on, but I want to know right off the rip if this can even progress any further. Because if I see them feet and them feet ain't what it was, then we ain't even got no business conversating any further. I don't care about your personality. I don't care. I don't care about, like, if you got fucked up feet, to me, we would never work. We would never work. And I know I'm bald, but I have dimples and muscles and shit. So, I mean, my teeth can be fixed. I can get some hair. I've been thinking about it here lately. Boy, if I pop out with a whole motherfucking little real hairdo, I'm not talking about my little usual doo-wop, but I'm talking about if I come through, which I wear my usual doo-wop in a couple of days. But if I come through, like, you gonna see. It might take me a few months of nap. I might have to wear a hat. But once I get my shit right, I get my implants going, I get my... Y'all gonna be hating on me. I'm gonna be... I just step up in this motherfucker just to swing in my hair. Or I might just have me a little nice little fade or something. You know what I'm saying? A little comb over. I've been thinking about all the different styles I could get. You gotta excuse me. My lady's in the other room. I'm finna go make her get up and cook something. This Cancer, it's a moon in Cancer. I'm just to go in here and straight get cussed out because the moon is on her black moon Lilith right now. It's on my sun, but it's on her black moon Lilith. My sun is her black moon Lilith. She's in there, right? She's in there studying her tarot book, and she's in there practicing and writing in her journal and working on her tarot, working on her craft with her tarot. And I'm just gonna go fuck up all of that shit. As soon as we get done with this live in about 10 minutes. We're done in 10 minutes. I'm telling you now. I'm going in there, I'm saying, hey man, I'm hungry. And she's gonna say, well, go make you something to eat. I'm saying, no, I want, man, go, hey, make me nothing. I'm gonna go start an argument for real. I can't even stop myself. I already know it's about to happen. And I hope she ain't even watch. She might be watching this, but I hope she ain't. Because then she'll know I'm coming. And it'll fuck up the surprise. And I'm a Cancer. She's a Capricorn. And she's gonna get mad and say, make your own fucking sandwich. I say, man, said, I don't want to make no sandwich. You're the woman. I know that's wrong, but that's what I'm gonna say. I'm telling you, I know it's wrong right now, but I'm gonna say that. What you mean, make my sandwich? I got my flannel on. I'm not fucking around. Let me see. Baby! What you doing? Yeah, I can already tell I'm gonna be in trouble. I said, what you doing? He said, same thing I've been doing. But she said it with a little Capricorn attitude. Yes, the super chat takes my money. Please hit the Cash App. I'm finna post the Cash App again right now. I need it too. I had to buy a car battery yesterday. It fucked over me. They fucked over me. I need some business for real. Yeah. I missed my beard when it was gone. I don't know why I'd be cutting it off. I miss my beard. We finna get it back right once we get November. I'm gonna be y'all seen it before. It's gonna be big enough. Just boop boop boop. Hey, Alana, how you doing? You said, would Jupiter conjunct a part of fortune in the 12th give a person strong spiritual gifts protection? Yes. Yes, 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 yes. And secret talents. The 12th house also, part of 12th house, Jupiter in the 12th house in its own way, but more part of fortune in the 12th house, secret gifts and talents. Like there's so much hidden gifts and talents that that person has that they don't share to the world. So much. But yeah, I'm finna tell her, man, make me a sandwich. I ain't even want a sandwich. I want something cooked. I don't even want nothing cold. I want to see you sweat. She gonna say, you better make some of that leftovers from last night. I said, hell nah. That meatloaf still got me fucked up. And it does. She owes me. She made some meatloaf last night that fucked me up. Yeah. How many years we've been together this time? We've been going solid this time for going on 8 years. But we have been involved and have since 2007. We've had a son that's 14 years old. But yeah, we've been involved with each other off and on since 2007. But we've had other relationships in between there. We've been together solid this time for going on 8 years. And that's why sometimes you gotta, as a man, y'all don't be listening to me. It's the Cancer Moon. Don't be listening to me. As a man, you gotta assert yourself sometimes. You gotta let them know that you the motherfucking man in this shit. Get in there and cook something. I'm gonna get beat up. I'll probably come back tomorrow like this. But nah, for real though. Sometimes you gotta handle a Capricorn and tell them they don't run shit. She's in there doing her thing. You gotta go in there and you can't be doing your thing. I run this shit. This is my house. As a Cancer, you gotta do that sometimes. With a Capricorn, you gotta go in there and say, man, this is my fucking house. I run this shit. I don't give. I'm busy. I don't give a damn if you get in there and cook something right now. I would never talk to her like that. I don't even sound so right doing that, but I'd be like, hey, babe. You gotta go in there like the Libra rising. Hold up, let me practice. You gotta go like, babe, I'm hungry. And she'd be like, well, go in there and make you something. Like, man, no, you gotta act like you don't know how. Like, I don't, man, that thing don't even work right when I do it. you gotta, you gotta, plus, and then she ain't gonna do it. Then you gotta go, as a Cancer, you gotta go in there 3 or 4 times and huff and puff. You gotta pout. See, I got my whole routine down. You gotta go in there and sigh. Like, ugh, you gotta open the cabinet and close it 3 or 4 times in front of her. Like, boom, slam the cabinet. Like, ugh, and walk out like it ain't nothing to eat. That's what you gotta do. And go in there and turn the TV up loud while you know she's trying to study. Or tell her Capricorns can't do it. Capricorns don't got no spiritual gifts. Capricorns can't. You gotta go in there and just, you gotta assert yourself, but you can't do it real aggressively, because then that Capricorn will come out and she'll get real mean. But what I'm gonna do, I was gonna practice like that. I might even just go in there and just get bucket ass naked. That works sometimes. I just go in there. I ain't gonna do nothing to it, but I'm just gonna go in there bucket ass naked. Just go in there and just walk through there. I just walk through there on her like, shit, I'm hungry. What's up? That's how you handle it when you got Pluto in the first house. That's what we're gonna do. Walking there. Buck your booty ass naked just with the house shoes on and some Sylvester socks. Yeah, I got Sylvester socks on. See? I got Sylvester socks. I almost fell. See? My balance ain't right because I'm hungry. I got Sylvester socks on. But for real. Excuse my outfit. This is my lumberjack outfit. I might just go in there wearing just this coat. Nothing else. Since I'm on her Lilith. She might be feeling freaky. The moon is on her Lilith. She might be feeling that shit right now. I'm her son. I'm that too. I might just go in there and say, hey. Let me dick you down while you make me an egg and potato burrito. Yeah. Let me stroke you. Like that. But she's a Capricorn. She probably said, let me fuck you while you make some eggs. She might say that. Let me fuck you while you make some eggs and burritos. Hell no. That just wouldn't be civilized. But she might say some shit like that, for real though. Now, Watkins Cat House, she said, what if someone with Libra rising, Cap, Sun, Cancer, Moon? They ain't shit. I mean, Libra rising, Cap, Sun, Cancer, Moon. They're born on that full moon. They're Libra rising. They ain't nothing what they appear to be. They seem like a nice person. They ain't. They're a Capricorn sun. They ain't nice. They're just polite. And the Cancer moon, they take everything fucking personal. Hell nah. Hell nah. That's exactly what they be. Fucking super polite and super, hi, how you doing? But really, motherfucker, trying to get over on you, ain't shit, competing with you, talking about you, don't even like you. Yeah. Capricorns don't really be liking nobody. And then they'll be missing people that they don't even like. I swear to God. I remember my girl used to have a homegirl. She used to be talking shit. When they was hanging out, she'd be talking so much shit. Like, God damn. Like, I didn't even like that bitch. She talked so much shit. But then, after a few months of them not hanging out, she was like, man, I miss Jamie. I wonder where Jamie is. I hope she's okay. Man, some shit. Like, man, you don't even like that bitch. But she was like, I don't like nobody, but I can tolerate her. That's how she would say. That's how she would say. She's like, I don't like nobody, but I can tolerate her. I'd be like, shut up and go in there and make that egg and potato burrito before I kick you in your motherfucking ass. And you go, bow. But yeah, you could go down like that. Either that, I'm gonna go in there and tell her, hey man, take me to Sonic. You can't even make her cook nothing. You gotta go in there and say, hey babe, you want some Sonic? You can't. That's how Libra rising. It's Mars and Libra too. That's how you gotta go in there like that. Hey babe, I was thinking you want a slush or something. I kind of feel like I want some Sonic. That's how you gotta. You can't just go. Or you go in there. Act like you care. Like, what you doing in here? Every now and then you gotta go in there and act like that as a man. Even when you have Venus and Leo, you gotta go in there and act like you tripping. I don't really trip. She got Venus and Scorpio, she be tripping. I don't really trip, but you gotta go in there and act like you tripping. You gotta go in there. Poof. Who you in here texting? No, I see you on the phone. Every now and then you gotta shoot a little slug. Or you just throw some bait out there. Yeah, I heard about that nigga at your job. Then you'll actually find out some shit. Like one time that happened. You don't really find out. They'll be like, yeah, a little nigga at a job. She's like, who? Talking about Keith? And I didn't even know no dudes worked at her job. I was just playing. I'm like, hey man, well, man, what's up with you and that nigga at your job? She's talking about, who? Which one are you talking about, Keith? Now we just be cool. We just be talking. And I'm like, man, ain't this a bitch? Who the fuck is Keith? Rich Wealthy, what does North Node in the 12th house mean? It depends on what the sign is, to be honest with you. But, I mean, North Node in the 12th house really means you're on a quest to find yourself in a way. And sometimes the only way to find yourself is to be alone. Or to find out something about yourself. And the only way to do that is to learn how to be with you and deal with you. Well, that means your South Node is in Gemini in the 6th house. So you like, I mean, in Sagittarius in the 6th house. So you be thinking you know everything a lot of the time. So learning that you have so much more to learn is going to be big for you. Like a lot of times you think you know everything, and you do have a certain routine and way about going about things that really works for you. It always has. It's productive and it pays off. But with your North Node in Gemini in the 12th house, you got to learn different ways of doing things and a different way of seeing things and a different way of processing things. And that means you gotta be open to that. And so only way that you can do that is find the part of, opening up and being by yourself and getting away from that. Like there's so much more like that you can learn. And you are there. Just you might know that now, but there was a point where you think your way is the best way. It's not even just that you know everything. It's there was the time where you thought your way is the best way, and it's always worked for you. It's positive in its way. But you got to be willing to make some mistakes and really go within yourself if you want to grow. Aquarius, Scorpio. You said, and with that love, question. Oh, hold on. You said, you're so fucked. You haven't figured out your career by now. And with that love, 10th house, part of fortune, North Node, and Venus. You're not fucked. I mean, what sign is it? And if your North Node is there, that's going to be the thing right there. It's not going to be an easy thing for you. Once the North Node is involved, it's a part of your destiny. So it's not going to be something that's easily obtained. Because that's not your natural tendency. You're not a naturally achievement-oriented person. till it's too late. But you have a boss inside of you. You have a CEO inside of you. You have a bad motherfucker inside of you. You gotta stop being so fucking indecisive with Libra on the other end of that. That's what that is. Dang, we've been going a long time. 216 minutes strong. I'm trying to avoid going in here and having to put this motherfucking hammer down and get this egg and potato burrito. For real though. I'm trying to puff myself. I'm trying to puff myself up. I'm gonna practice with y'all a few more times. Practice with y'all a few more times. Hey, what you doing right now? Shit, I'm kind of hungry. Think you can make me an egg and potato burrito or something? See, that's like the straight up approach. Or you gotta go in and say, hey, babe. Yeah, my stomach been kind of hurting, and I feel kind of lightheaded. Then you gotta try to get her to offer you to make you. You want me to make you something to eat? Yeah. Egg and potato burrito. Green chili. Thank you. Yeah, well, see, you gotta be manipulative. You gotta. That's how you get that Venus sextile to Mars to work with you. And you gotta go in there and just stare at her for a minute and just go sit on the couch and start. She's gonna say, "What's wrong?" What you're really doing is making enough noise so they can ask you what's wrong. So you do, and they say, "What's wrong?" Say, "I'm hungry, man, but I don't want none of the stuff that's in there. Will you make me something like that?" Yeah. Or you gotta go. You gotta go in there, like I said, full motherfucking pull that shit off on her like that. Pull it off on her. Say, "I'm hungry." And she say, So I'm telling you, go in there and make something to eat. What's wrong with you? You can't make something to eat? You better stop playing with me. Ooh, you gotta get straight up crunk in there. Like, wait. Wait. Or you gotta go in there and sexy on her, like, come here. You love me? You know I love you. Will you please make me something to eat? Yeah, that might work. That might work right there. Or you just gotta say, fuck it. You gotta go in there and say, you don't run just check them. As a Capricorn, you gotta check her. As a Capricorn, hey, you don't run shit. Just go in there straight out, right off the rip. Say the first thing, say, hey, look. I don't give a fuck what you doing. I'm fucking hungry. That's where you gotta get. Then I'll get loud. I got Mercury and Leo, so I'll get real loud. I already, the whole Jupiter thing was a brief go through, or I would really go through it. You gotta watch it. You gotta watch it. I'm not recapping the Jupiter. I'm not recapping a motherfucking thing. I'm just hold on. But for real though, you gotta catch her while. Hey, what does the moon contra parallel Mercury mean? Hold on, I thought I'm not getting my chats up here. My bad, I'm missing everybody's chat. Zoltar the Magnificent. We're in the age of Aquarius. My bad, fam. I wasn't ignoring you. I was zoning. There's something wrong with me, bro. Aquarius, Scorpio. I already answered your question. Rich Wealthy, what does moon contra parallel to Mercury mean? It means you have to learn a way to not let your emotions and your mind be in conflict with each other and make them work, help each other. Because you actually can be an expert communicator when you can learn how to process your emotions in a healthy way. And maybe talking to people is one of the ways that you can do that. So it's just finding a way to take those two aspects or those two bodies and work out the differences between them so where it works for you is what, making adjustments in the way that those energies work so that it works out for you is what parallels and contra parallels are going to do. We'll do a whole series on those too, but I want to go all the way because that's one of my favorite things to talk about is the declinations. Now hold on, let me get back to what I was doing. I need to keep practicing. Mama, okay, you gotta go there. You gotta make the organization. Gotta zone out that place right there. You gotta get to that place. Mama. Man, my stomach hurts. I'm hungry. Nah, I don't want no tuna. And that meatloaf hurt my stomach last night. I don't want that. You can't just make me an egg and potato burrito real fast? Like, you're that busy. You can't make me an egg and potato burrito. All right. Well, can we go to Sonic then? I'm gonna give you one of them little chicken sliders. It ain't like no egg burrito. Like, what? And that shit like would hurt my stomach too. Like, if you just made me an egg burrito, I wouldn't have to do that. See, look, I could be in Hollywood one day. I'm a Pisces moon. I could just go there. And plus, I'm just playing myself. I'm just playing the different characters of myself that I do all the time. I'm just going over my normal tactics. Usually, this is just me in the mirror. I'm just showing you that. These are ruminations of the Pisces moon mind. Or just go in there and sit in there and stare at her like that for a while. So you say, what's wrong, baby? I'm kind of hungry a little bit. I don't know what I want, though. You hungry? Yeah, you hoping she's hungry? You hungry? Okay. All right, we can go to Sonic, but I also kind of have a taste for an egg burrito. You don't feel like making no egg burrito for me? No? I mean, we can go to Sonic then. It's cool. Yeah, y'all can't fuck with those skills. Or you just going there straight aggressive on her. Say, I'm hungry. When you get done with what you're doing, make me an egg burrito. This will get you cussed through out. But I'm willing to take it. You don't ask, you make demands. The North Node is in Aries. You do what you get what you want. Say, man. You want me to peel potatoes or you gonna peel them? Yeah, you gotta hit them like that too. You want me to peel what? After everything I do, you can't make me a fucking egg and potato burrito? What the fuck? Now, cause you know I've been in there on live all morning. I mean, that's basically working. What are you doing in here? Right? Writing it? Yeah. Can't no Capricorns do no motherfucking tarot. Then you gotta get personal. Can't no fucking Capricorns do no motherfucking tarot. You ain't gonna be doing nothing but telling everybody they fucking dying and being, yeah. You might wanna hear all that negative shit. Yeah, you gotta keep working it out. You gotta work out every scenario in your mind so you know the perfect one. When we hit on it, we'll hit on it. It gets real. If the black moon Lilith is in Cancer, I mean, if the moon is in Cancer on her black moon Lilith in Cancer, what you gotta do is go in there and say, "Mama." You gotta hit it with that, "Mama." This is the last one, "Mama." My stomach hurts, but I was gonna make some leftovers, but that stuff it was already hurting my stomach from last night. You think you can get in there and make me an egg and potato burrito? Yeah. Yeah. Hey, I love y'all. I appreciate your love and support. I need some business. Y'all get at me. I'm finna get this. I'm gonna give me something to eat. But if I come back with a black eye tomorrow, it was all in the faith of me trying to manifest what I needed in my life. All right? But either way, I love y'all. I appreciate your support. We'll be back tomorrow at some point. I don't know if we'll do a top 5 tomorrow or Monday, but we're going to have one coming soon. I appreciate your love and support. I'm so appreciative of everything. I need some business. Get at me. I'll work some deals. You just got to get at me. And that's at mr.turner1300@gmail.com. And Cynthia Renee, I will be working on your reading here over the weekend. Somebody else just ordered a reading the other day, so I got to get to theirs too. But everybody else, get at me. Cheryl, I'll talk to you on Monday. I appreciate everything. Y'all keep it real till next time. You gonna make me a motherfucking egg burrito or what?